I got y'all. I got y'all. I was saying a bunch of stuff doesn't work, which is obviously it's one of them. But one of these days we will start a stream. One of these days we will start a stream where the sound works without me having to switch a couple of things around for the sound to actually work. Okay? I give you my word. One of these things, one of these days, this will happen. So saying we're gonna be talking about some awesome stuff. We're gonna be talking about the Pope, His Highness, the Pope, who said some interesting things that I think, in my opinion, he'd have a lot of things to say about Catholic history, if that's true. We're going to be talking about Donald Trump, who said, I'm all about the gospel. I'm all for the gospel. I'm surprised he didn't say there isn't anybody more about the gospel than me. You know, because he does that. He'll be like, I'm all for peace. I'm all for peace. There isn't anybody about peace more than me. You know, Trump does that weird qualification that he just likes doing for some reason. And then we're going to think about this fairly, I would hope, the way that we do it all the time. So invite your friends. Thanks for joining us here on YouTube, both in the vertical and horizontal streams. Thank you for being with us on Instagram. Y'all Instagram folks are joining us as well. So we want to acknowledge your existence, Instagram folks. And excited that you're here and hanging out with us. I still would say the best experience, if you want to have the best experience, would be to jump on the vertical on YouTube. Just right there. No. Perfect. Thank you. Got my coffee delivered to me by my eldest daughter. Because I was running late. I was like, when the coffee's ready, make sure you bring it. No one loves Jesus. Yeah, there you go. No one loves Jesus more than me. Why would I put up a picture of him / me plus us as Red Cross workers? Do I have an opinion on Nietzsche's The Antichrist? I just generally don't like questions where they're just like open. And do I have opinions? I have a lot of opinions, man. If you want to ask me a specific question, then we can speak about that. The camera shake was legit. She slammed the door. It was absolutely legit. Art, your kids will turn 20 and you'll still look the same. Come on now. Look at that. Getting some compliments here about the looks we got, you know. Hey, hit the like button, folks, on YouTube. We'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button. We actually have more people on the vertical than the horizontal one on YouTube. That's kind of cool. So it's not that difficult to hit the like button, right? So go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. So here's what's going on. I'm going to play a couple of clips for you guys. And we're going to talk about it. One of them is a bit difficult to hear. But how about this? We'll play the Trump clip first. We'll play the Trump clip and then we'll jump around. Here we go. This is the president of these United States of America. 46 seconds. Look what he says.
Put out a statement saying the Pope isn't merely exercising his opinion, he's preaching the gospel. I mean, what do you say to people that do this?
Well, I want him to preach the gospel. I'm all about the gospel, but
the question is, the lady says, you know, there was a statement put out that the Pope is not essentially making like political statements, but, you know, he's preaching the gospel. And then that's what his response is this.
Merely exercising his opinion, he's preaching the gospel. I mean, what do you say to people that do this?
Well, I want him to preach the gospel. I'm all about the gospel, but I also know that you cannot let a certain country, which is a very mean-spirited country, have a nuclear weapon. If they did, they would use it, and I think they'd use it quickly, and they would kill many millions of people. So, you know, the Pope could disagree with me on that, but certainly we're allowed to have that. I'm all about the gospel. I'm about it as much as anybody can be, but I can't
He
allow,
did
as
say it.
President of the United States of America,
He said, I'm about it as much as anybody can be.
I'm about it as much as anybody can be, but I can't allow, as President of the United States of America, I can't allow Iran to have a nuclear weapon. And here's the story. They won't have. They've already agreed not to have. That's good news, and I think the Pope will be very happy.
I think that was good. I think that was good. Trump says that I think if they don't have a nuclear weapon, obviously Iran won't be the kind of threat it is, and the Pope will be really happy with that. But he did take a jab at the Pope. When they asked him, there was another interview where they said, Mr. President, there's some people that are going to be executed in Iran, and and one of them is a female. What's your opinion on it? And he said, why don't you ask the Pope? Now, here's what the Pope said earlier, and this is more interesting for me. Yeah, and this one's really hard to hear because he's in the airplane, but I think there's captions. Check this out.
I have no fear of neither the Trump administration nor speaking out loudly about the message
So I have no fear of the Trump administration nor speaking out loudly about this,
of the gospel.
about the gospel.
And that's what I believe I am called to do, what the church is called to do.
That's what I think I'm called to do and what the church is called to do.
We're not politicians.
We're not politicians. Hang on to that statement.
We're not looking to make foreign policy, as he calls it, with the same perspective that he might understand it. But I do believe that the message of the gospel, blessed are the peacemakers, is a message that the world needs to hear today.
Okay, the Pope says, Pope Leo, he says, we're not politicians. Okay. Just want to bring your attention to this, and it matters to a certain extent, because it will help you think through this a little bit. The Pope is actually the head of state. He's the head of a country. He is, by definition, a politician. Okay, so Vatican City is a country. So Vatican City is a tiny sovereign city-state in Rome. Right? So it is the independent administrative center for the Roman Catholic Church, which is correct, and home to the Pope. Now, Vatican City has a head of state. Is the Pope a head of state? Yes. The Pope is a head of state. As the Bishop of Rome, he is the ex officio sovereign and absolute monarch of the Vatican City state. He holds supreme legislative, executive, and judicial power over this independent city state, which was established in 1929. The role of the Pope is both the leader of the worldwide Catholic Church and the head of state of the Vatican City State. The governmental type of the Vatican City is an absolute elective monarchy. He appoints officials to manage the daily administration of the city, such as the president of the Pontifical Commission for Vatican City State, who acts as the head of government. International status. The Pope holds supreme authority over both the Vatican City and the Holy See, which maintains diplomatic relations with countries worldwide. Diplomatic relations with countries worldwide. Now, it's interesting that there's a bit of unique interpretation on the Pope's part here, Pope Leo's part, where it says, this is the way I view my... Look at this. It's very interesting to me how he puts this. He says,
What I believe I am called to know what the church about the message of the gospel. And that's what I believe
that's what I believe I'm called to do. And that's great because at the end of the day, it's a pastoral position. The Pope is a pastoral position. He's a pastor, right? But you are also the head of state. And you meet with other heads of state, Catholic and non-Catholic heads of state. You meet with them. And you guys discuss various things. I mean, the Pope, let's not downplay this, that the Pope's doesn't necessarily have a say. I mean, he can get up and say things, and historically popes, because one of the things I want us to think about is that this is not just about Pope Leo specifically. It's more in regards to the office of the Pope. Because previous popes have gotten involved in the affairs of countries. Previous popes have definitely been involved. Right? Like now we can go back hundreds of years and thousands of years and then see the involvement that popes have had. Right? For example, this one. Let me fix some things here. Pope Julius I was the Bishop of Rome from February 6th in 337 to his death in 352. He was appealed to by Athanasius when the latter was deposed from his position as patriarch by Arian bishops. Julius then supported Athanasius and condemned his deposition as unjust. He was notable for asserting the authority of the Pope over the Arian Eastern bishops, as well as being attributed with the setting of December 25 as the official birthday of Jesus. The reason why I mentioned him, by the way, is that he took the name Julius. And that's not a Christian name. That's a pagan name. After Julius Caesar, dressed himself in some certain interesting ways. But popes obviously have had quite a bit of influence over countries and monarchs and all that. And for him to say that this is not the way he necessarily sees himself, I think he's being disingenuous, actually. The other thing we might want to speak about is whether it's okay to disagree with the Pope. Like, can the Pope come out and say something, and folks disagree with him? I mean, and I'm talking here, I mean, obviously we can disagree with him, but I'm talking about Catholic folks. Can they disagree with the Pope? And the reality is, yes, Catholic folks can disagree with the Pope. As a matter of fact, let me right here. Ben Shapiro did a little interview with Trent Horn, and they speak about this. And here's what they have to say.
So let's discuss, from a Catholic perspective, where is it fine for people to criticize the Pope, and where is it not fine for people to criticize the Pope? Obviously, he's in a bit of a war of words with President Trump right now. Popes frequently sound off on matters political because the crossover between the spiritual and temporal is not, a bright line. And if you're speaking on matters of morality, that will have consequences for politics. Where is it fair to say, I just disagree with the Pope, I think that he's wrong on a subject?
Yeah, I think it's important for people to remember that that papal infallibility is a doctrine that only applies to extremely limited number of things that the Pope says, and hasn't been invoked by recent popes, except in things like the canonization of saints. Otherwise, Catholics are to give the religious submission of mind and will to when the Pope teaches doctrine, says this is a teaching of the faith that the faithful are to hold. But in many other cases, what we have are prudential judgments. And prudential judgments relate to the virtue of prudence. How do we use reason to get to the good? Many times we can try to aim at the good, but as you know, Ben, when liberals try to aim for the good, we often have the law of unintended consequences. Well, we want to get rid of poverty, so let's raise the minimum wage to $50 an hour. Well, you're trying to do good, but it's very imprudent. You're not getting to the good. You're not using reason to get there. So the Pope and the bishops can offer prudential judgments to say, here's what we can do to get to peace and flourishing for human beings. And other people in different fields and social sciences can offer respectful disagreement of that. All people, but Catholics especially, should give the Pope, who's our spiritual father, respectful consideration of these prudential judgments that are given. But to simply flippantly toss them off as if the Pope is just some guy in Rome, that would be out of bounds, especially for Catholics who owe deference to the Holy Father.
Right, so Trent,
Okay, so that's Trent Horn's explanation is really good, and he's coming from a Catholic perspective, obviously. And he says, look, we can't kind of flippantly say whatever. He doesn't know what he's talking about. That what he's saying is respect him, respect the position, I think is what he would also say. And it's not accidental he's become Pope. These are educated folks that know what's going on. Which is why I would also hold to account with the Pope saying things like, I'm not a politician. That's not entirely true, because popes get involved in political conversations with politicians. I don't want to say most of the time. A good amount of the time, popes will sit down and talk to and take visitors from foreign heads of states. I mean, what do you think they discuss when they meet for these things? Now, some of these things have been defined more carefully in some statements that have been put out. For example, there was the statement. You know what? I'll actually pull up Trent Horn's video, because Trent did a video on this.
Posted the following on
and explain this to you guys, because I think he does a good job. Trent's generally like very fair and good about the way he goes about like explaining some of these things. Okay, so here's Trent explaining this a little bit.
a controversy when he said, God never answers the prayers of those who wage war. Brothers.
So the statement specifically is, that he made was, God never answers the prayers of those who wage war. Check this out. And Trent does a good job on this.
Because he stirred up controversy when he said, God never answers the prayers of those who wage war.
Brothers and sisters, this is our God, Jesus, King of peace, who rejects war, whom no one can use to justify war. He does not listen to the prayers of those who wage war.
Okay, so who no one can use to justify war, which, I mean, Catholics have. Have they come out, has this Pope come out and just like declared all wars ever? Maybe they have in regards to the Crusades, and said like, hey, they were all wrong. Every single one of them. We should have never done them. If you guys know that they have, like officially, the Catholic Church has taken a stance and said, done. We were wrong in doing these things. Right? Like, I don't know. Maybe they have.
This was later parodied in the Babylon Bee with the headline, Pope Leo explains God does not listen to people who wage war, so long as you don't count Moses, David, Joshua, Elijah, Saul, Gideon, Samson, or anyone else in the Bible. But the Pope was referencing Scripture's condemnation of those who wage.
So here's the caveat, I think, that Trent brings in that's very important.
Unjust wars. Because the very next part of his statement cites Isaiah 1:15. Even though you make many prayers, I will not listen. Your hands are full of blood.
Okay, so the idea here is what the Pope is talking about is that this is an unjust war. And because it's an unjust war, God won't hear your prayers. He's not necessarily saying, but I mean, some qualification would have helped. And that's not very difficult, right? It's not very difficult to actually qualify the statements that you're making as the head of the Catholic Church. And you know, many people are going to be listening to you. I know in the past, there's been situations where there's been bad translations. There's been bad translations of speeches the Pope has made.
to say about President Trump's comments.
Attacks on civilian infrastructure is against international law, but that it is also a sign of the hatred, the division, the destruction that human being is capable of, and we all want to work for peace. People want peace. I would invite the citizens of all the countries involved to contact the authorities, political leaders, congressmen, to ask them, tell them to work for peace and to reject war always. Thank you very much.
Not every
That's a good statement. Let me see what Trent says here, and then I'll comment on that.
judgment the Pope makes is correct or binding upon Catholics. But Catholics have a duty to give their spiritual father deference and respectful consideration. They certainly shouldn't imitate Trump's remarks in talking down to the Vicar of Christ, who is just reiterating centuries of Catholic doctrine on just war theory. At the very least, Christianity demands that we treat war as a necessary evil and nothing to celebrate. In 1917, in the midst of World War I, Pope Benedict XV urged for the hope of bringing about as soon as possible the cessation of this tremendous struggle, with which each passing day appears increasingly to be a useless slaughter. Even in the Middle Ages, Pope Nicholas I said war can be fought when it is impossible to avoid, but still candidly declared that war is always satanic in its origin. So when we discuss important political topics online, be it war or other issues involving the sanctity of human life, we should do our best to keep the conversation on the most important points. This can even include thoughtful allusions to previous injustices in history, like comparing abortion to the Holocaust, or Trump's actions to previous unjust wars.
Okay, so my point, just again, simply there would be, I don't see, and I think it makes sense for us to be consistent in this and call the Pope and say, call him out and say, look, if you're going to speak against the United States and how unjust, like, you need to spend the same energy, if not even more, and I'd say even more, speaking against the regime in Iran as to what they are doing to their own people and the amount of people that they've killed. Call it for what it is. You know, we can't be selective in these things, is what my call is going to be. We cannot be selective in these things. We have to be fair and apply it properly. And so if Trump is going to say stuff that's wrong, like, call him out for saying stuff that's wrong. And I think Trump's sitting there and saying, I think he's thinking this at least, is that the Pope doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't have the information I have. I think I kind of read between the lines there when he said things like, well, go tell that to the Pope, kind of what we're dealing with. When he said the Pope will be very happy that Iran's going to commit to not having nuclear weapons ever, which is what the full interview there is, the claims that he's making. None of these things have been fully resolved, but they're pushing for it. It seems like that they would sign on paper. Are they both trying to come to peace in different ways? Maybe so. Maybe so. And so there's biblical issues with some of these comments, and I think, again, Trent covered it in the Ring Raps to the Babylon Bee article, that, as long as you ignore all the people who go to war, and by the way, go to war because God commands them to go to war. Unless you ignore all those people, you can't make the statements that you're making. I find that extremely problematic, to get up and make a statement, a public official statement, sort of. And you're like, it's not in the back of your mind to think about, wait, man, we got like a bunch of examples in the Bible of people going to war and God being on their side. As a matter of fact, yesterday I was at Bible study, and one of the passages we read yesterday was this. Let me pull it up for you. It's in 2 Samuel. There we are. In 2 Samuel, David asks God, should I go up to this place? And God says, yes, go up. And then he does, which essentially, because of the actions of other people, leads to civil war. And there's a situation in which people get together and... Gotta find this passage because it's interesting. Here we are. So we get this passage. 2 Samuel 2, it says, and Abner said to Joab, let the young men arise and compete before us. These are two sides of the civil war. And Joab said, let them arise. And they all arose. And essentially, they kill each other. Then they rose and passed over the number of 12 for Benjamin and Ishbosheth, the son of Saul, 12 of the servants of David, and each caught his opponent by the head and thrust his sword into his opponent's side, so they fell down together. Therefore, that place is called Halkath Hazurim, which is at Gibeon. And the battle was very fierce that day, and Abner and the men of Israel were beaten before the servants of David. Now, I think it's reasonable to conclude that the overall sense of this passage when you read it is that God is with David and not with Abner and Ishbosheth. God is with David. And David's going to war. He's going to battles. And so again, I think at the very least, and because I'm gracious, at the very least, I would say the Pope is made comments and said things that are off the cuff. He should have thought harder and longer about making comments like that. Like if you say God is not on the side of anybody who wages war, or God doesn't listen to the prayers of anyone who wages war. I mean, all you need to do there is say God doesn't hear the prayers from anybody who conducts unjust war. That's it. I don't think it'd be problematic. I don't think it'd be problematic at all. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Bard Clay. Are you still here? I'll drop my have I seen JP's channel recently? I haven't seen JP's channel recently. Why? So I'm going to drop a link. If anybody wants to call in, you're more than welcome to call in. We'll pin it. Specifically, Bart Clay said he wanted to talk to theists, I guess. And my response, I don't mind engaging him on this subject. Can someone explain to me why every theist I've talked with thinks that I can choose to believe if I wanted to? All I've ever gotten out of them is, yeah, huh? Anybody in the chat want to discuss? Well, I'll, if you are willing and still here, I'd like to discuss that with you. JP's from New York. Don't hold that against him. Why does Jerome think he can just interrupt the conversation we're having about some of these things and just like immediately try to change the subject? And you want to explain yourself to us? I have a question. Sure, Joshua. How do we as a whole minimize, how do we as a whole minimize church divisions? For clarity, a church, not the universal one. Oh, like a local church is what you're talking about. How do we minimize it? Oh man. I don't know. I mean, I have some suggestions, but one of the things I would say is it might be dependent on the way you structure and the way you kind of communicate what your church is about. So expectations matter. So I'll put it this way. How do I minimize arguments with my wife? Well, one of the ways I might want to minimize arguments with my wife is by having our expectations like set out properly. So I have proper expectations of her, she has proper expectations of me. And so therefore, whenever we are expecting unrealistic things from one another, we can kind of call our attention to that and say, hey, like, can you tell me why you're expecting this of me? And so one of the things that I think churches can do is bring about expectations. Another way is by discipling people properly. The issue I have here, Joshua, and this is going to tell you my heart amongst many things. We get people to come to our churches. We get people to become Christians and be a part of our churches, or Christians end up in our churches. And all they are consumers. And if anybody wants to challenge me on this, I'll take them on. And this is across denominations. And I mean within Protestantism, Catholics, Orthodox, Oriental Orthodox. People go to church as consumers of something. And what ends up happening there is that, again, the expectation is set up. They're there to consume. And if the thing they're consuming no longer fits their expectations of what they're supposed to be consuming, then you're going to get complaints, and then you're going to get divisions come out of that, various things. And my just simple thing is disciple people and disciple people properly. And so by discipling them, you're going to teach them things like humility and, being very careful before they make decisions and kind of start attacking one another, things of that sort. So discipleship matters quite a bit in this. For the same reason why I was going to say, if I act in maturity towards my wife, is that, I apologize when I do wrong, things of that sort. And you're going to have that in individuals. So these are all ways, because you asked me, how do you minimize this? And I would say these are all a part of that process. I don't have a one kind of simple answer to this. This is what to do, and you won't have church divisions. But you want mature individuals around each other who treat each other well, who are understanding of one another, who have proper expectations, who understand diversity of theology. If someone theologically changes their mind and wants to leave their church for another church that theologically corresponds to them, then, that's respected. And it's not treated like the world is falling apart. Those are just things that come to my mind. Should I call in and talk about John Lennox? Well, you can. Yeah, that's a possibility. As a pastor, I emphasize free will and the responsibility of folks for themselves in good faith with dialogue. Just a bit of an answer. Yep. But the church denoms were part of the division too. Correct. All denominational divisions is a group of people who are acting those ways. Nick says, for instance, I'm not much good at evangelism. I'm really good at teaching and visitation and discipleship. Matching needs and all of that is helpful. Another aspect is honoring differences of others, correct, and speaking well of their good faith convictions. Amen. As a Baptist, I honor infant baptism and respect that as a valid means of God's grace. But valid does not mean I affirm or practice said conviction. One way to break down the consumeristic mentality is to differentiate what a person wants versus what they need. These aren't the same. Correct. Did I get more comments from people on my teaching series? No, just number of comments, but it's the numbers are going up. People are watching it, which I'm really glad that people are actually watching it. The divisions are what give the church a bad name. Well, like, yes, Joshua, like sometimes. But let's not forget that even the New Testament teaches that the gospel itself is offensive to those who are perishing. I think the message we're preaching, that people are sinners, they need to repent and follow Jesus, is an offensive message. People aren't generally going to say, yeah, man, gee, that's such a cool thing to hear. You just told me I'm wrong and my views are wrong and my religion's wrong and the way I've been living my life is wrong. And like, that is offensive. The message we preach is offensive. It's important to understand that. It is very important, you guys, for us to understand that. Okay. Arthur, before we forget, how can we pray for you and for Apologia Center? By Apologia Center, I mean, I presume you mean Tom. How can you pray for us? Well, this week is our half-day conference coming up. So we got a packed week this upcoming week. This is next Saturday. We got Inspiring Philosophy coming in town. We got God Logic coming in town. And so there we are. We're still promoting it. If you guys know people in our area, in the Los Angeles area, feel free to reach out to them, invite them to this event. I think it'll be very beneficial and helpful to them. So that's on the forefront. But I would just say generally strength, energy, that our voices wouldn't disappear. Tom was having some issues with his voice yesterday, so pray for that. Yeah, this is a good point. I'll add to what I've seen are minor differences that get blown up into very manipulative and catty behavior. That's because the people aren't discipled well. That's because people don't have the maturity of character to understand and respect each other's differences. So if they did, if the discipleship was there, then like I said, their expectations would be just fine. But it's not, and therefore the expectations are messed up, and then they blow things. What you're saying is out of proportion. And yes, they do blow things out of proportion. 100%. So I just got, Tom just sent me a link, political take on the Pope situation. Let's see what he sent me. There's a couple of things I also want to address. Patrick Bet David interviewed Sadhguru, and I want to watch that as well. Because some interesting comments. I saw a couple of videos that were posted on Twitter. Why is this not working? I don't know what's going on. Interesting. Is Twitter down, you guys? Can anybody confirm with me if X is down? Wait for your comments. I think the relativist movement has made it easier to not feel a duty to your church. Good point. And some of it is a valid reaction to an era that made their customs a religious test to be a member. This is true. Yeah. The Pope seems to have always had a problem with Trump even before he was Pope. I mean, that's fine. X is down. Okay, it is down. Yeah, nothing's coming up. Okay. I'm not the problem. Dangerous stuff. X is down. Okay, so we're going to have to do this way. And let's see, was it on Valutainment? PBD. PBD. Sadhguru. Okay. I'm very curious, by the way, for this conversation. Because I like people who like word salads. So I'm going to put this here. We're going to watch it. And then we're going to react to it. Okay. Before we do so, I'm going to end my Instagram live. Those who are on Instagram and watching, jump on over to YouTube. We're going to continue being live on YouTube. But with that said, Instagram, see y'all later. Okay. I did see your theological Civil War song. That was good. So let's jump into
Life
this.
doesn't die suddenly. When we are born, we got our death sentence. We are only trying to kick the can around a bit.
You've been a rebel since day one, since you were a kid.
I know I will die a failure in my life, no matter what I do. My blessing is you die a blissful failure.
If life goes as quickly as we know it does, what is the most important thing in life?
When it's such a brief life, if you want to do little things, there's lots of time. If you want to do something big, there's not enough time. In the middle of nowhere, this planet is floating around and you and me sitting here and blabbering like this, not knowing a damn thing. If both of us are peaceful, this room is peaceful. As simple as that.
This place is peaceful right now. Yes?
Depends.
Can a successful, ruthless businessman be at peace? What would you say I should dedicate my life to?
See, you're trying to drop like 10 commandments from whatever I'm speaking. Don't do that. What is true is only what you have experienced. Rest is all imagination and belief.
Yeah, what a boring life though, no?
Very wrong approach.
Really? You make it seem like it's easy. It's not easy to do
It's
for most
simple.
people.
Something you should know only by experience.
Do you think you know?
That's a nice intro, man.
Did you ever think you would make it? I feel I'm supposed to take sweet victory. I know this life meant for me.
Adam, what's your point? The future looks bright.
My handshake is better than anything I ever signed, right here.
You are one of one?
My son's right there.
I don't think I've ever said this before. So a lot of students from Iran and southern India.
They used to study there because I think that's when the revolution happened.
Pre-revolution, you're thinking, or post?
When that happened, when the Baha'i people, mostly Baha'i people were all studying in India, like thousands of them.
My sister married a Baha'i guy. Yeah, Baha'is, they believe you can get to heaven from 8 different prophets or 8 different ways, and it's a very interesting community. But Sadhguru, it's great to finally do this with you. Sitting down having a conversation. Now, we've been trying to do this for a while, and but I'm glad. I know for the audience, The audience who knows you, they know you. For the audience that doesn't know you, your students, your reach is all over the world. I mean, we were talking about the location you have in southern India, 10,000 square miles, your location in Tennessee, 23,000 acres. You guys have that beautiful statue of 112 feet in India, which we were just talking about a minute ago, which people visit. You get billions of views. A lot of people call you rebellious a little bit, like you're a rebel. I don't know why you're a rebel, you know. Interesting people follow your teaching, Will Smith, Matthew McConaughey, Logan Paul, and others, but it's great to finally have you here with us. So I got a simple question for you, okay? I'm 47 years old. We just celebrated my dad's 84th birthday, okay? And we know how life is. Life goes by fairly quickly, okay? I feel like just yesterday I was 23 years old, like an hourglass, right? If life goes as quickly as we know it does, what is the most important thing in life, in your opinion?
You must have a vehicle like that.
Say that again?
You must have a vehicle like that.
Yes.
To move fast enough.
Yes. Well, that one doesn't have an engine. I need an engine
I know
in that
that
one to go fast.
But I'm saying you must be F1.
Do you really believe that? To move fast?
If you value your life, because for what potential a human being carries, even if you live for 100, it's just not enough. For the potential, if you want to explore the potential of being human, if you live in a limited way, 100 years may be too much. But if you explore the full depth and dimension of what it means to be human, 100 years is just nothing. So you need to be like an F1 machine.
Really? So for you, it's like the most important thing is to seek what your biggest potential is, like what your capacity is? Get close to it?
No, I'm not saying I'm in a race or something. What I'm trying to say is, if you're conscious that you're mortal, which I think everybody should be, unfortunately, they're surprised, always. You know, surprise means so foolishly surprised. The most obvious thing in our lives is we are mortal, we will die one day. But most people believe that other people die. They never think they will die, the other people die, they're dying people. No, you and me will die. So they're like, they always think…
It'll never happen to me, you know. I'll never get sick, I'll never get cancer. It's the other guy that's gonna happen to, but not to me. I get it.
So…
how do we deal with that? How do we deal with the fact
I'll tell you, just 2 years ago, there was a sage in southern India, in Karnataka, and he was 111 years of age. That man spent his entire life in service, he did so much work all his life. He became a monk when he was 17 years of age, and he lived a dedicated life. And he was still working hard and doing things, but unfortunately he slipped and fell and broke his hip.
Which is the worst thing to do at 111.
Yes, but out of that he didn't recover, within a few days he died. So all the newspapers reported he suddenly died. They came and asked me, what do you think, this was such a great man? I said, man, at 111, how does somebody die suddenly, huh? What are you guys made of? At 111, you die suddenly? No. A full life and well, you need some reason, something has to break to die. Either your heart has to break, liver has to break, head has to break, something has to break. Well, fortunately for him, without spending too much time hanging around in a hospital, he died within 3 days after the fall. So I'm saying, life doesn't die suddenly. When we are born, we got our death sentence. We are only trying to kick the can around a bit. So when it's such a brief life, for the intelligence invested in us, for the potential invested in us, if you want to explore something, then you have to move fast.
Got it. So you're about… There's two mindsets, okay? And I'm having a conversation with one of my friends, his name is John, and we're talking about the statement about, you know, time is running out, we don't have a lot of time left. And he says, Elon Musk told me something. He says, Elon told me time is running out, but we also have a lot of time left. Which one do you believe in?
I don't believe anything. The fact is, time is running quickly. It depends on what you want to do with your life. If you want to do little things, there's lots of time. If you want to do something big, there's not enough time.
Wow. Wow. And what's the difference? Because in not enough time, the big things require more diligence, the more focus. Why do you say that?
Well, it needs more effort and time. It's like this. Shall I tell you my sob story?
Please.
This happened when I was 25. One afternoon, I'm sitting somewhere and I'm fine. By that day's standards, I'm extremely successful. I've started about half a dozen businesses in about 5 years and all of them doing well, everybody clapping their hands. When everything that you're doing is working well and you're young and everybody clapping their hands, slowly you're beginning to think the planets are going around you, not around the sun. So I'm saying, I'm not arrogant, but I'm a bit cocky and there, enjoying everything that's happening around me. And I just sat there in one place and suddenly I did not know which is me and which is not me. All that
I'm just curious with the sunglasses. Like, what's up with the sunglasses? Oh man.
So till then, my life was, this is me, that's you. I have no issues with you, but that's you, this is me. Suddenly I did not know which is me, which is not me. I was sitting on a hill. Everything felt like me. Like what was me was just all over the place. I thought this lasted for 10–15 minutes, but when I came back to my normal consciousness, about 4.5 hours had passed. I didn't realize the time. For the first time in my adult life, tears were coming. Me and tears were impossible. But here I was. And then every cell in my body was dripping with ecstasy. I was a super skeptical person. I'm skeptical about everything. And when I shook my head and asked myself, what am I doing here, what's happening? The only thing my mind could tell me was, maybe you're going off your rocker.
25 years old.
Yes. Then I asked my closest friends, hey, something is happening to me, I'm just blissed out. If I sit here, I think it's 2 minutes, 6–7 hours are gone. I'm just completely, smashed out within myself. I said, hey, come on, what did you drink? Did you find mushrooms in the hill? This is the kind of thing, I knew there was no context for me. So I experimented with this. Then I discovered, if I simply sit here, if I remove my hands off my psychological process, every cell in my body bursts out with ecstasy. Today we have proven this in the laboratories. Some of the top scientific laboratories in this country, we have proven this, that if you do this, that the bliss factor is up in a huge way. The endocannabinoids in the brain are up by 70% in a matter of 6 weeks of practice. So, when I realized there's nothing to be done if you just simply sit here without touching your physiological process or your psychological process, every cell in the body bursts out with ecstasy. Chemistry itself becomes ecstatic. Today we have substantial scientific evidence for this. Then I thought, who wouldn't want to be blissful? Free. No drug, no alcohol, no nothing, don't have to go to heaven, sitting here, you're ecstatic. Who doesn't want it? So I was 25 and I sat down and made a plan. I had the world's geography in front of me and I made a plan in 2.5 years' time. On that day, the world's population was 4.82 or 8.84, somewhere there. And I said, I will make the whole world blissful, entire humanity blissful in 2.5 years' time. See, it is 44 years now.
Since 25.
Yes, it's nearly 45. Now, well, people say I've touched over 2 billion people. That's not my idea of the world. 8.4 billion, they've increased, the population almost doubled since then. Well, I know I will die a failure in my life, no matter what I do, but I will die a blissful failure. So I'm saying a whole lot of people are setting up petty goals for themselves, and then I say, I did it like this. What's the point of this? Human imagination, human capacity to think and project is such that if you really apply yourself, what you want to do cannot be done in one lifetime. So, my blessing is you die a blissful failure. If you think you're a great success, that's because you had petty goals.
Yeah, petty goals.
Yep.
Small goals.
Yes.
Got it. So no matter what, if somebody is pursuing big goals, you have to accept the fact that that person's gonna probably end up being a blissful failure. You're not gonna fully reach your potential.
You cannot. It's just that if you take 2 steps, next generation may take 2 more steps or 10 more steps, we don't know.
At this phase of your life, by the way, when you're saying all this stuff, what is your core principle? Like if somebody asks me, Pat,
I'm curious about this. I'm curious to know what his core principle of life is. Because so far, I mean, I don't know, man. Sometimes it's hard for me. These new agey types, it's it's hard for me to follow them. Not because what they're saying is that intense and deep and all that, because they will contradict themselves in a thought without giving any attention to that they've contradicted themselves. They'll be like, what are you saying? It's like, they'll say, this is what I'm saying. And it's like, is this what you're saying? No, that's not what I'm saying. I think you might see some of that here in this conversation.
Pat, you spent time with Sadhguru for a couple hours. I said I did. What is his core 3 principles? What would I tell that person?
I don't have any principle. Life is my only principle.
Okay.
Everything else is made up in
Okay, I don't have any principles. Life is my only principle. What does that mean? Like you go around and speak to people, you teach people, you claim to have all these students, but yet you're claiming that you don't have any principles you're teaching. Life is your only principle.
In your head, isn't it?
What is his core three principles? What would I tell that person?
I don't have any principle. Life is my only principle. Everything else is made up in your head, isn't it? My principle versus your principle, we can have a fight. But if you ask this life and that life, it's the same thing.
Tell me more.
I'm saying…
You know why Pat's saying tell me more? It's because it's it's a dumb comment. He's like, you didn't say much. That's what Pat's saying. You didn't say much here. Tell me more.
The nature of life on this planet is such, whether you take an ant or an elephant or a human being, fundamentally all life wants to do the same thing. It wants to become a full-fledged life. With an ant, we know what is full-fledged. He's always striving to be a full-fledged life. Just try to restrict him and see how he will fight for it. Little guy. Elephant, of course, he will fight. Everybody will fight, even including a plant is fighting to be a full-fledged plant or a tree. Only problem with a human being is, a human being does not know what is a full-fledged human being. He is always confused about it. Because in nature, nature has drawn two lines for all the other creatures. Between these two lines, they live and die. But for a human being, the top line has kind of faded away. So what is full-fledged human being is not defined. So essentially, a human being is free, but he's struggling with his freedom. It's like if you put a bird in a cage and feed it nicely, he becomes a fat bird. Then one day you take away the door, but he won't fly. Most human beings are in this condition. Though evolution has removed the top line for us, we could be anything we wish to be, we don't do that. We try to live like animals, identifying with limited things, because we've gotten used to the comfort of the cage, that we don't mind giving up the flying.
Cage. Where we feel like we are locked in and we can't be free.
No,
to go
not
live
like
the
that,
life, or
not
what
like
cage
that.
are you
See,
talking
people
about?
are always trying to bind themselves to something or somebody or whatever, because freedom is a scary thing.
Sure, I agree.
All the identities that people are taking up, whether a family or nationhood or religion or race or whatever else, essentially they're trying to bind themselves, to define themselves. But the whole process of evolution was to get us to a place where we could be beyond definition.
How the heck does he know this? I didn't know this. Oh gosh, how do you know that? That's the… listen to what he's saying, okay? People are trying to bind themselves and define, and he's gonna constantly do this because this sort of a worldview can't escape this. What they'll do is they'll treat the way some of us live our lives, okay? They'll treat the way we live our lives. Like if I say I'm a Christian, these are the doctrines I believe in, so on and so forth. What they will do is say, you're limiting yourself. You got to go beyond that. There's an experience, there's a life you need to live beyond that. And the life is to live without definitions. And you go, cool, I'm listening. And you go, let me tell you what those are. And they'll define a bunch of stuff for you. Contradiction. And you bring up laws of logic and contradictions and things of that sort, they'll just deny it flat out, like it doesn't exist. This guy just said people are trying to bind themselves and then told us this is the purpose of evolution. Who told you that? It's not like you went back and looked at it and it's like, oh, by the way, the purpose of evolution, to get to a place where we no longer have definitions to things. What? Many people listen to this guy. Jesse says this guy's a scam. Yeah, I don't disagree. I mean, it doesn't take long for me to figure that out. Word salads and all, you know.
Or whatever else. Essentially, they're trying to bind themselves, to define themselves. But The whole process of evolution was to get us to a place where we could be beyond definition. All other creatures are defined, they are creatures, that's why. But you are the only one who's called a being, right? We don't call an ant being, an elephant being, we don't do that. Because they cannot choose how to be. They can only respond or react to the stimuli that comes to them. To some extent they can decide, but it's very limited. But once you're a human being, irrespective of what's around you, you can choose how to be within yourself. So that is why you're a human being. Too many human beings are trying to defy that possibility and act like creatures, reacting like every other creature.
You have a 35-year-old daughter, right? We're talking about family earlier, I think you said, if I'm not mistaken. What are you telling your daughter when she's younger? Are you telling her, honey, you can grow up to be anything you want to be? Or how are you shaping her mindset when she was younger?
When she was very young, when she was 3.5 months old, she started traveling with me. So, always we are traveling different places, and every other day we are in a different home because I always stayed in many people's homes. So, she grew up without too much identity like that. And as a rule, I told everybody, don't teach her anything.
Don't teach her anything?
Yes, don't teach her ABC, 1, 2, 3, Mary had a little lamb, because I don't care whether Mary had a lamb or not, okay? Just leave her alone, because a child's intelligence is a certain kind, they're drinking in life, let them drink in life, why are you corrupting it with your ideas and nonsense? So I told them, you can play with her, you can be with her, you can…
Okay, here we are again. I'm going to keep repeating this. Do you guys notice the idea that you shouldn't teach her anything is a teaching in itself, that he's taking his ideas and feeding that nonsense to his child? Do you see that? See, like, again, the facade always with these guys, all these guru types, the facade is always the same. That, oh, they want to teach her the ABCs. No, what are you doing? You're feeding her your nonsense ideas. Don't teach her anything. That's not a blank slate. That is a teaching. You can't escape it. It's constantly going to be this sort of a thing. It's just constant self-reputations, constant contradictions. That's what this stuff's all about. All these guru types are the same exact way. They're the same exact thing. Okay?
Chat with her, but no teaching anything. No nursery rhymes, no ABC, no 1, 2, 3, no nothing. So she just grew up because I treated her like I would treat any other adult. So she never realized that she's a child. She went about doing things when there are big issues and problems. I said, hey, this is what the issue is, what shall we do? Means she would come up with her own wacky answers to those situations, which is way beyond a child normally. But child has a certain intelligence. A child is much closer to life than most adults are. Instead of learning from a…
That's a meaningless statement, by the way. A child is closer to life than most adults are. What does that even mean?
Child how to be life, adults are busy teaching their rubbish to them all the time. So, let me skip those things, and then I wouldn't have sent her to school, but my travels were too crazy. I had to send her to a school where there's minimum amount of schooling. When she was around 13 years of age, something happened in the school which upset her. She came home and…
At 13?
Yeah. And then she said, you're teaching everybody so many things, you're not telling me anything. I said, see, I don't do anything unsolicited. Now that you come, sit down. Then I said, this is all you have to do in your life. Never look up to anybody. Then she looked up, her eyebrows went up like this, what about you kind of expression on her face. I said, especially me. If you look up to me, probably you'll nail me to the wall. It's no use. You must see me how I am, the way I am. It is of immense value because I'm here, there, everywhere at the same time. You must look at me just the way I am. Don't look up to me. Never look up to anybody.
That's powerful.
Never look down on anybody. If you look up to somebody, you'll exaggerate things in a positive way. If you look down on somebody, you'll invent negative things about them.
Just want to say that this is kind of contradictory to what Paul's statement is when he says things like, follow me as I follow Christ. If that's what we mean by looking up to people. Like the thing, again, another thing with these guru types is they'll speak in such generalities that when you actually give specifics and you want specifics, because they've already spoken in generalities, they have a way of evading. It's a part of the skill they have. Right? So it's like, don't look up to anybody. And then you go, but what you're teaching me is a part of that. Should I listen to you or should I ignore what you're saying? Like, well, you can listen to me, but you don't look up to me. They just sidestep it. It happens a lot.
If you don't look up or look down, you look level at life the way it is, effortlessly you will navigate your life.
Yeah.
She is a living manifestation of that today.
What does she do today?
She's a classical dancer.
She's a classical dancer. Oh, that's right. And her husband's a top 5 classical musician, which is pretty amazing. So never look up, never look down. If you look up, you exaggerate. If you look down, you will look for negative things.
Yes.
That's interesting to be thinking about. Now, your parents, mom and dad, who had a bigger influence on you as a child?
I never was influenced by anybody. They tried, but they couldn't.
Even when you were a kid?
Yes.
So you've been a rebel since day one, since you were a kid?
The thing is, these words, these are all cliched words. People say you're a rebel, you're this, you're revolutionary, whatever. Essentially, it's like this. For me, when I was just 4.5 years of age, one day I suddenly realized I don't know anything. Don't know anything means I don't know anything at all. So if somebody gives me a glass of water, I'm staring at this water for 3-4 hours at a stretch because I don't know what the…
This guy just discovered Socrates. But, all right, let's see what he's saying. He realized he doesn't know anything at all. I mean, if he doesn't know anything, we shouldn't listen to him.
So if somebody gives me a glass of water, I'm staring at this water for 3-4 hours at a stretch because I don't know what the water is. I know I can drink it, I know how to use it, but I don't know what it is. Actually, even today you don't know what it is. Even today you don't know what it is. If you find one drop of water somewhere, in another planet we say life is possible. Yes? 72% of your body is water. So, with…
Oh, man. This is difficult for me too, by the way. And yes, I would love to know what Pat is thinking, especially at this moment, right here.
With all the scientific knowledge, we still do not know what one atom really is. We know how to use it, we know how to fuse it, we know how to break it, we know how to explode it on somebody else, but we don't know what it is. That's how fantastic this creation is. But we want to draw conclusions all the time. So…
That seems like a conclusion, by the way. There's a contradiction again. That's a conclusion. What he suggested is a conclusion. The idea that we shouldn't draw conclusions is a conclusion.
5-6 hours. If I sit up in the night in my bed, I'm just staring at the darkness for the whole night. My father, my dear father being a physician, he started thinking I need psychiatric evaluation.
He was right.
Yeah, from 4.5 onwards. So I'm just staring at something like this, I can't take my eyes off because I still don't know what this is. I can't shift my attention to something else. When I don't know what this is, how do I go to this? So in this condition, they sent me to school. My mother said, you don't stare here and there, pay attention to the teacher. I went and paid attention to the teacher, the kind of attention they would have never received in their life. So initially they're talking something, I kind of understood what they're trying to say. Then after some time I realized they're just making noises. I'm making up the meanings in my head. See, if I start speaking in any of the South Indian languages…
Why does anybody listen to this stuff, man? He said, suddenly I realized as a kid that when people were talking, they're just making noises. Hey, guys. This guy makes a lot of noise. Oh, man. Like, he's sitting there talking. And he's like, by the way, I realized that when other people are talking, they're just making noise.
Just right now, it'll be just sounds for you, isn't it?
You're making up the meaning in your head. This is, again, they're trying to bypass anything that you can pin them down on where they would have to define something. and give it some kind of a meaning. Because if they did, their entire thing falls apart. The whole spiel falls apart. The whole scheme falls apart. The money stops coming in. It all disappears. By the way, as far as I know, this guy's pretty wealthy. Sadhguru Jagi's net worth is not officially disclosed, but various estimates suggest it is around 2.5 million. As of 24-25, it's important to note that these figures often confuse the personal assets with the assets of the Isha Foundation, a nonprofit organization that he founded. The Isha Foundation is a massive entity. In 2022, the U.S. entity alone, only in the United States, had total receipts exceeding $40 million and held assets valued at $110 million. That's why he can sit there with those really nice glasses.
Or if you can speak Farsi, it's just sound for me. Language is a conspiracy between both of us. I make one sound, you make up the meaning. So when I realized, I was just…
Hey, we're gonna run with that. He realized that language is just like, we can't make up the meaning. So everything he just said, I'm gonna interpret it as Christianity is true and Sadhguru is wrong. Let him prove me wrong. Sadhguru said that language and speaking is all making noise and you interpret it in your head. So I'm interpreting it as him saying Christianity is true and he is wrong. Prove me wrong. You guys see the problem there, don't you? I hope you guys see the problem.
Just 4.5, I realized they're just making sounds. I'm the one who's making meanings in my head. Hour after hour, different teachers come, they make noises and go. So I decided not to make meanings out of it, just listen to it, full attention. I'm listening, the funny sounds they're making. It was so…
Bro, Pat's just thinking this is nonsense. Like, this guy's just, it's hot air, man. It's hot air. Pat, bro, have me on. Why do you have these people on?
Amusing that a big smile spread on my face, but they were not amused. So my schooling went like this. Most of the time I got lost on the way. Sometimes I went when they caught me. Otherwise, mostly I got lost. And about 18 years ago, I think, the school where I studied over 55 years ago, they came and said that it is their 125th anniversary and I must come. I said, please, the trustees had come. Said, see, I'm not a good example for your students. I'm not just a not good student, I was not even a student. I only came there when it was absolutely necessary. Otherwise, I never came there. Why me? Then they said, our school has produced federal ministers, our school has produced film stars.
So you went to a very good school. It was a good private school.
It was reasonably, yes.
Okay.
I don't
His dad was a doctor, of course it was.
know whether it's good or not. I was not a judge of that school.
It produced you, federal minister, so it's like
Federal ministers, film stars, cricketing stars.
private school.
Yeah, private
Okay.
school.
How many students total?
That school must have been 1,500.
Okay, so it's a good sized school.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you are the only mystic, you must come. I said, okay, and I went there. So the same quadrangle, the same oppressive buildings all around you, I just looked around. A couple of big trees which was there when I was a student there, that was also gone, they'd built something else up there. Then I looked around, what to say to these people. Then I saw this classroom and I suddenly remembered. I was 12 years of age. One afternoon, the teacher is asking me some question. By then I've come to your place, if I look at you, I know your past, present and future, but I don't hear what you're saying. I can see so many things, but my attention is such that the sound…
That keep in mind, PBD is being paid to listen to this. Is he? Or is PBD… Well, I mean, maybe PBD paid him to come say these things. And it depends on the audience you get. This guy's got a pretty wide audience, guys. I mean, this video was put a day ago, 143,000 views a day ago. PBD's had better videos than this. Yo, what's up, David? How you doing? David Ghazarian, what's up, man? Let's oh gosh, we're 25 minutes in.
Sounds that you utter are just going somewhere, but I know everything about other things that are happening within you. So the teacher is asking some question. I'm full attention, I'm not distracted, full attention, but I don't hear what he says. So, for about 35 minutes, he makes effort to get some response from me. Those are times when I did not speak for days on end, because when you don't know anything, what do you say? I went to the field and played every day, but classroom I escaped. Because they want me to talk this and that, I don't want to talk something that I don't know. So, after 35 minutes, he got so mad with me. He held me by the shoulder, shook me violently like this.
Teacher.
And, you must be either the divine or the devil. I think you are the latter. Till then, my problem was, what is this, what is that, what is… I have a billion questions, a cloud of questions around me, because I don't know anything. One thing I was sure of, this is me. This guy confused me about this also. Is this divine, is this devil, what the hell is this? Then I tried to stare at myself, it didn't work, so I started closing my eyes. My journey began. Initially minutes, hours, days, I closed my eyes, and here I am.
Got it. So meditation was a big part of your life.
I wouldn't call it meditation because the English word meditation doesn't mean anything. It's just intensity of life.
Bro, this guy is such a contradiction. He just told us all the words is just sounds that people are making, and now he's telling Pat, no, you're wrong. That's not what meditation is. Bro, Pat has the right to make up the meaning in his own mind. How are you going to disagree with him?
Life.
Intensity of life.
Yep. See, all you got is just life, rest is all made up in your head. Have you been to anybody's funeral?
Pat is so confused. This is comedy, guys. This is pure comedy. He said, I'm conflicted. I want to call in and ask you something, but I also want to sit and listen to the guru. That's because how powerful he is, bro. You see, he's so wise. The guru is teaching you.
What happened to you?
I'm in the insurance business. We sold a lot of policies.
I thought it happened in Iran.
No, Iran, military, insurance business. You know, you get clients that pass away, but yeah, I've been to many.
Okay.
Have you been to many?
No, I've been.
Okay.
So if you go to the funeral, that guy is lying down there, properly dressed and proper posture. That guy never had such a good posture in his life. Now he's proper like that.
Yeah.
You go and tell him, yesterday he was hopping around for many things, tell him, you won the Tennessee state lottery, $130 million. You think he's going to sit up?
No.
Why is he not interested? You tell him, we found a huge diamond in your backyard, will he sit up?
No.
When you're a young man, whatever you were interested in, underclothed young woman, you talk about them, will he sit up?
No.
What happened to him? He lost only one thing, life. How come he's lost interest in all these things? Because that's all you have. Rest of it is goddamn imagination, isn't it? You're misunderstanding your psychological activity as an existential process. This is the biggest problem with human beings. Your drama, you're thinking, is life. Drama that's happening in your head in the form of thoughts and emotions. You're thinking it's life itself. It's not life, it's your drama. You can conduct it whichever way you want. Because you're such a bad director of this drama, you think life is going wrong.
Because you're such a bad director of this drama, you think life is going wrong.
Tell me if your thoughts…
Oh, man.
and emotions just happen the way you want. Will you be blissed out every moment?
If it's the way…
Hey, you guys think this guy knows he's full of crap? Like, do you guys think he's actually aware that he's just absolutely full of crap? And he's just like trolling and making money off of stupid people, and he goes home at night and goes, man, people are idiots. I just keep coming up with crap and they keep listening to me. And they follow me and they think I'm saying something smart, but I just said nonsense. Do you guys think he's self-aware? Or is it worse than that? Where he actually believes what he's saying is somehow makes sense. I don't know. You guys come up with the conclusion.
Hey,
you want.
Yes.
Why don't you do that? That's all I did. Doubt every moment. If you're…
Because you're such a bad director of this drama, you think life is going wrong.
Tell me if your thoughts and emotions just happen the way you want. Will you be blissed out every moment?
If it's the way
you want.
Yes.
Why don't you do that? That's all I did. I've not fixed the whole world, I fixed myself.
Yeah, but it's a very…
Is he high? Serious. Like, he's wearing glasses and stuff. Like, I don't know, maybe he is high.
hard thing to… You make it seem like it's easy. It's not easy to
It
do
is
for most
simple.
people. Well, tell us how simple it is, because, 95, 99% of the world has a hard time with this.
Say, do one thing. You are in Miami, you see only sunrises probably. But you do one thing, tomorrow you face west and try to watch the sunrise. Maybe you'll break your neck, it's very hard. So if you try to do something the wrong way, it'll be very hard. How you do things outside.
By the way, did you guys catch that? He said there's a right way and a wrong way of doing things, but this is the same guy that just told us words are meaningless. People make up the meanings in their minds. Again, just constant contradictions. Constant contradictions.
If you try to do the same… if you try to employ the same method to do the subjective thing, of course it'll be very hard.
What from your experience, having dealt with as many people as you have, what do we waste most of our lives thinking about
Life.
that we shouldn't be?
Life.
Thinking itself is a waste of time.
Hey guys, that's it. Like, this is pure comedy. This guy. He just said thinking itself is a waste of time. Don't think. Oh my gosh. Hey, that's gonna get clipped, man. That's absolutely getting clipped.
Tell me more.
See, a human being has intelligence and intellect.
Intelligent and intellect.
Yes.
Okay.
There is intelligence, there is intellect. What did you have for lunch or breakfast today?
Alper, my Turkish chef, made me some Turkish food. It was good salad, good soup, and whatever the meat was, it was tender. It was good.
Somebody died for you,
That's all
all
I can
right.
tell you.
So, whatever you eat, whatever that is,
Uh-huh.
plant, animal, this, that, are you using your intellect and digesting it? Or there's a deeper intelligence which is doing all this and making this into human body?
I'm not using intellect.
This guy, hey, equivocation much. Like, logic doesn't exist for this guy. Like, he'll take like the mechanism in which your body functions at, like your digestion, and he'll say seemingly intelligent things like, is there a deeper intelligence that is digesting your food for you? That has nothing to do with intelligence. It's the functionality of your body. It's a function. Simple.
There's a deeper intelligence which is
Sure,
doing that.
yeah, for sure.
So there is intelligence and there is intellect. Intellect works only with the limited data that you have gathered. Yes or no? Can you think of something that you've never encountered?
Can I think of something I've never encountered?
Never encountered, never heard of, you were not conscious of it. Can you think about that?
Can I think of something?
No,
Can I
man.
imagine a life I've never encountered? Yes. Can I think
No.
of something I've never encountered?
No, you cannot imagine. You will imagine something which is an exaggeration of what you already know.
Okay.
You cannot…
Oh, Pat. This is a laughing face. He wants to laugh, but the way that Pat's gonna counteract laughing is by doing this so he doesn't laugh. Because if mentally, if he's relaxed, he's gonna laugh because the guy's just saying stupid stuff. So Pat has to do the opposite of that. He's telling himself, serious face, so you don't laugh. That's why.
Think of something which is simply not, for which there's no data inside.
Well, maybe I got to find the mushrooms you took 4 years ago. Because maybe
There's it.
I know.
There it is. There it is, right? So Pat was having a hard time. Pat was having a hard time containing his laughter. So he came up with a joke to give an excuse to laugh.
You were telling me you thought you were on mushrooms.
Others thought I was on mushroom.
So, okay.
Your
so,
intellect works only on data. Your intelligence is not of that sort. Your intelligence is life itself. Life is an intelligent process. So instead of being that intelligence, you've given too much value to this intellect. This entire thing has happened because, I don't know, people may think it's controversial, but this human thought has become very important only because of European influence on the world.
Ah,
Otherwise,
there it is.
in India,
There it is. Now, we're gonna get at something here, okay? This is gonna be very interesting.
people may think it's controversial, but this human thought has become very important only because of European influence on the world. Otherwise, in India, we don't attach any importance to what you think. You can think whatever you want because we know you can't think anything beyond your data.
So when people come to India and they conquer your land and they steal everything that you have, are you still no longer thinking about what they're thinking about? Do you not care about what they're thinking about? You obviously do. See, that's a very lazy and lousy way of trying to make excuses for the sheer stupidity that you are sharing with people and trying to teach them. And at the same time telling people that you shouldn't listen to anyone who suggests they know anything to teach you.
Can your computer operate beyond its data?
no.
Then why are people so insecure about AI? Because they know it'll handle data better than them.
It's a fear. Some people are fearing that.
Yes, because it'll handle data better than them.
Sure.
See, we have created
That's not why people are afraid, because there's ethical concerns that come up here. He might not be concerned about ethical stuff because he thinks everything's meaningless and that we come up with meaning in our minds. I don't know whether he even believes that somebody can marry a 2-year-old or not, or is that meaningless as well? Or somebody can create their own reality as they think about these. There's so many questions you can come up with where it shows the absolute absurdity and stupidity that this guy's talking about. People are not afraid of AI because it can process information faster than us. Computers already process information faster than us. That's a given. It's the whole point. That's called computing. A calculator processes information faster than most human beings when it comes to math. So that's not what they're scared of. The main fear when it comes to AI is the ethical fear. It's the ethics, but this guy probably doesn't believe there's such a thing as right and wrong. So he's not concerned about that.
created a world where if you read 3 books, you can become a school teacher and screw up the next generation of people. You read 10 books, you become a professor and bore.
Or you don't read any books and you don't go to school and you sit there and you say, I close my eyes for my whole life and I don't know anything, and you become a guru that's worth millions of dollars scamming people. That's a possibility.
The hell out of people. You read just 1 book and you become an agent of God. I read nothing and people accuse me that I'm a mystic. This is a strange world.
Did you notice that? He doesn't claim to be a mystic. People accuse him of being a mystic. You can't pin this guy down. Anything you say, because if you say you're a teacher, he's gonna say, I'm not a teacher, I don't know anything. Or you're a mystic. No, you're accusing me of being a mystic. I'm not a mystic. Anything you say, he's gonna try to evade it. At the same time, grifting. This guy is the definition of a grifter.
So with little data, people have been running businesses for a long time. Now, a simple machine, your phone, can carry 1,000,000 times more data than your brains. So people are feeling insecure.
Do you think there's any benefit to math?
To mathematics?
Mathematics.
Well, that's the only thing which is…
Pat doesn't know what questions to ask. He's like, this guy thinks numbers mean much.
Which human beings have kind of come to, which can connect with the physical realities of the existence if you take it to a certain level.
Is there a benefit to it? Because you're saying don't think. So if you're saying you're in school, you're not listening to the teacher, do we need math? Do we not need math?
Mathematics is not because of your thinking, because of observation. This 10 fingers are there because you're thinking you have 10 or because it is there?
It is there.
It is there.
Right.
So we just learn to count it in a certain way.
Right.
He just contradicted himself, by the way, because all conversations is noise being made by people. So who cares what you're counting? If everything is what you're making up in your head, how are you observing anything? This is the whole thing with these relativistic kinds, man. Like in a split second, they'll contradict themselves.
But it is already there, isn't it?
Sure.
Yes. So we didn't invent it. It is
By the way,
there.
this is the same guy sitting there saying, I'm looking at water and I don't know what it is. Now he's telling us what math is and how we're observing it. There's physical objects, you don't know what it is. And you're telling us about non-physical, abstract objects like numbers and what they are. You can't make this up.
We observed it.
Right, but you are taught mathematics, as if you're saying at 25 you had a half a dozen businesses, you had to be good in numbers, no?
Of course. Because I had 10 fingers too.
But I hope you made more than $10.
A lot more.
Okay, so then you don't have a million fingers. I know you've done well.
It's just, see, we're Indians, we invented the zero. We know how to add 0 to 10.
Sure.
How many zeros is the question, that's all, right?
Right. Right, but when you say, you know, the idea
How about you add 0 to 0 and see what happens?
I'm not saying there's no need to learn. All I'm saying is, there is no distinction between intelligence and intellect. Intellect, let's say intellect is in one part of your head and it's like your phone. There are a lot of people who are addicted to the phone, they can't keep it down, they're going into rehabilitation.
Sure.
So this is the same condition. You don't know how to keep your intellect aside and just employ the other aspects of your life. All the time it's on. From what? From the limited data that you have. Same things it's repeating in permutations and combinations. It cannot come up with anything new. But your intelligence is not like that. If you give it necessary focus, it'll penetrate into anything and open doors in the universe.
You said something to your daughter. You said, I won't teach anyone unsolicited. Why is that? Why is that a…
because it won't work.
Because it's like the whole concept of when the student is ready…
Unless one is receptive,
sure.
What is the point pouring things on them? You go and pour water on a rock, we'll have a tree.
By the way, that's a nice excuse to evade any kind of confrontational conversations. Because, for example, if I say, let's just say, I want to debate you on this stuff. You made a lot of claims. I think they're wrong. Let's debate. You'd be like, oh, no, it's pointless for me to have a conversation with you because it's unsolicited. You don't want to accept it. So what's the point of me saying it? And so then one of the ways that this whole thing develops is all of his followers come to him and they can't be critical. Once you become critical of this guy, once you become critical of his teaching, you're gone. So you get a bunch of people who are brainless, mindless, cannot critically think and analyze and question what he's teaching. It's a great moneymaker.
Grow out of it?
No.
No, you have to wait for it to melt down to become soil.
When do you know that the student's ready?
Huh?
When do you know the student's ready?
I can see the eagerness in their face.
Purely based on the eagerness.
The people ask me, Sadhguru, how long will you live? I said, the day I see any boredom in your faces, I'll be gone. If I don't see thirst in your faces, I'll be gone.
This guy's a professional BSer. Like,
who do you think you are? Like, if the average person, who do you think you are? If the mirror's put in front of you, who do you think Sadhguru is?
He's gonna be like, nothing. I am nothing. I look at myself and I say, what is this? I don't know what this is. So I keep staring at myself in the mirror for 25 hours because I don't know what that is. What is a mirror? I don't know what a mirror is. I keep looking at it.
Who do you think you are? Like, if the average person, who do you think you are? If the mirror's put in front of you, who do you think Sadhguru is?
Just pure life. No.
This guy knows what pure life is, but he doesn't know what water is.
No mess up with anything. No philosophy, no ideology, no belief system, no…
Everything he said is a philosophy, by the way, and he's just denying it. Just contradictions, 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 contradictions.
No, nothing. I have not been messed by the world in which I live. I'm just the way the Creator intended life to be.
No, you're not!
A lot of siblings?
Huh?
A lot of siblings, brothers, sisters, or no?
Brother one, two sisters, one passed away.
And where are you at in the… Sorry to hear about one of your sisters, but…
I'm the last one, so…
You're the youngest?
Yes.
Which makes sense. Have you ever seen these videos when it's 4 kids and the youngest one is the most vibrant, craziest one out of all of them? We have 4 kids, and our youngest one is very different than the other 3. Do you think there's something there where you kind of watch your siblings or no?
No. I didn't pay attention to them.
Hey, at least he's consistent in one thing. At least he's consistent in one thing. He's like, no, I didn't watch them because I don't let anybody influence me. I didn't…
Knew them very well, but close, but… I was close, very close to the family and friends, but I was aloof too, very aloof. I just spent a lot of time in the jungles, forest areas around the city.
You're still aloof.
If I found 10 rupees at that time, I bought 2 loaves of bread and a couple of eggs, and I disappeared into the jungle. When I ran out of food after 3 days, 4 days, I came back. So there would be searches all over, police complaints and everything, but after some time they realize wherever he goes, he comes back.
Even till today? Even till today you find…
Why do I not believe anything this guy says?
Yourself going back home?
Now there are too many homes all over, so wherever I go, I say it's my home, so no problem.
Yeah.
That's interesting. What would you say, you know, for someone like you, I'm curious how you would answer this. What do you think is your biggest accomplishment in life?
I have no accomplishments.
You said you don't have any accomplishments?
No, I don't think so. I'm just doing my best, that's about it. I don't make a big deal about what's happened because I know…
The false humility on this stuff, man. Sheesh, it's disgusting. Guys, seriously, like that's one thing that I can spot a mile away, and it absolutely disgusts me, is when people have this false sense of self and false humility. I don't have any accomplishments. Did you get… Look at this. I'll show you the arrogance. Check this out. Look what he says here about his homes.
Answer this. What do you think is your…
Everything, but after some time they realize wherever he goes, he comes back.
Even till today? Even till today you find yourself going back home?
Now there are too many homes all over, so…
Now there are too many homes all over. Whose homes is he talking about? By the way, that's a flex. He's slipping up by saying, I have a lot of money, I got a lot of homes. Now he says, everywhere I go, I say it's my home.
Wherever I go, I say it's my home, so no…
Because he does have a lot of homes. Because he's filthy rich. That's a flex. And then he says, I don't
have any accomplishments?
No, I don't think so. I'm just doing my best, that's about it.
Professional BSer.
I don't make a big deal about what's happened because I know
Hey, can somebody look up how much his glasses are worth? Please? I'm very curious to know how much his glasses are worth. And I don't know what kind of a watch he's wearing. That'd be interesting to look at too. Some of you guys know these things a lot better than I do.
My perception, I'm not even doing 2% of what I can do because to create situations which are conducive to create what you can do is very difficult in the world.
Why?
Because to convince everybody that this is possible, to make them see this is possible to do this. I told you, I thought I will get everybody blissed out in 2.5 years' time but everybody is so invested in their miseries, you can't get them out of it, though they want to be blissful. It's not that they don't want, they want to be, but they can't make up their mind.
That's interesting. What's been…
Seriously, guys, I want you guys to search some of that stuff up. You can just take a screenshot and throw it into ChatGPT and ask it to recognize those glasses. Like, what kind of glasses are those? Folks know what's up, man.
What's been the most difficult thing you dealt with, even today? Do you have challenges with anything in your life that you have a hard time with?
There are many, many challenges every day. There's no day without challenges. And I don't have a hard time with it. I don't give myself a hard time. And I've not given this freedom to anybody that they can give me a hard time.
So you don't give people the freedom to give you a hard time?
No.
Okay. So how does one do that So
See, because this is possible because I am not a vested interest in any way. Right now, I get 100 people together and start doing this. If 50 people in that just go the wrong way or don't do it, drop it halfway, I will try to inspire them, get it done. But whether that's done or not done is not of any consequence to me personally. It's useful to people. If it happens, it's good for the world. Well, if you… you are the world, if you don't want to do it, that's about it. So, wherever I see any possibility, I start something. People are always scared, Sadhguru, if it doesn't work, what to do? I said, if it doesn't work, what? What's the problem if it doesn't work? We made an attempt, it didn't work. So just about anything, whether it's agriculture, environment, health, education, you name it, in every field I'm there. Now many things have come to such a scale that we have become global leaders in some of those things. But many other things have not worked. But I don't think they're failures. At least we made an attempt, maybe somebody else will carry it on tomorrow. But the important thing as a human being, if you do not do what you cannot do, no problem. But if you do not do what you can do, you're a disastrous life in my perception. I don't want myself or anybody around me to be that kind of disasters, because this is the problem with most human beings. They're not even doing what they can do, because they have fear of failure. What is failure in this life? You will die one day, hello? Everything that you think must happen, you attempt. It may happen, it may not happen. Because for anything to happen, the situations have to be conducive. World has to receive you. World may reject some things that you say. Well, big people… Gautam Buddha was poisoned, Manzoor was poisoned, Jesus was nailed. Well, you can say they're failure. They're not failure, they did what they could do. People were who they were around them.
do you read a lot? Are you a big reader or no?
One time, way back, but I don't get much time to read anymore.
That's so funny. Hey, are you a reader? Do you read a lot? He's like, one time I read one time. By the way, do you guys get the false sense of humility I'm talking about? Because if he claims he's never read, if he claims he never listened to his teachers, if he claims that he never looked up to anyone, if he claims that even his siblings didn't have an influence on him, even his parents didn't have an influence on him, and then he says things that are seemingly wise and intelligent to his audience, in their minds, this is a manipulation tactic, in their minds, that raises up their respect for him, because they go, oh wait, you haven't read, you haven't studied, you don't have any influences, you didn't have a teacher yourself, you didn't, none of these things are true. Oh man, these things all must be coming from you. That means you're really wise. And look at the humility. You say you don't know anything at the same time. That's the way you bamboozle people. That's the way you get people to open up their checkbooks and give you all their money, frankly put.
Time way back.
See, what I did was, after I finished my high school, I took a year's break because I decided I'll educate myself. I don't want to go through the education because it was quite silly for me to go sit in a classroom and they're talking some stupid stuff for 1 hour, which is in 5 minutes you could know this. So I took a break, and this was a time when my family, who in India, education is valued as the most sacred thing, you know, in that generation.
In a big way.
Huge way.
In a big way. I mean, you know, you guys got IIT, you guys got… the whole culture is about
Especially
education.
if your father is a physician, you have to become a physician,
That's
it's
right.
compulsory.
Did any of the kids become any of the siblings?
All three failed, they didn't go. So everything came on me.
Wow.
So my father is like academically very top guy in his time. He studied with a lot of hardship, and he has preserved his textbooks, medical textbooks, his notes, handwritten notes, piles and piles of notes. He someday wants his children to take up all this stuff. So he's telling me all this. I said, see, I'm not going to be a doctor, that's for sure. Don't pin this on me. I said, I'll educate myself, I don't want to go to college anymore. I'll finish my high school and then…
Somebody sent me how much the specs are worth. According to this, it was the same ones. Those are $2,500 shades he's wearing, ladies and gentlemen.
Then I decided I will go spend time in the library. Mysore University had a fantastic library, it still has, I think. So morning 9 o'clock it opens, closes at 8 in the evening. At that time, I was so physically active. You know, I was like all over the place doing all kinds of things, in the jungles, climbing mountains, all kinds of stuff. You won't believe what all I did.
This is what age?
From the age of 11, 12 onwards. So, now I'm 18 and I've just cleared my high school and I don't want to go to the university, which is unbelievable in my family that you don't want to educate yourself is like a crime. It's not just a simple sabbatical as it is seen today. At that time it was, if you don't go to the university, your life is finished. That's the understanding. So I went and sat in the Mysore library, Mysore University library. At 9 AM when it opens, I'm there. I eat a big breakfast at home and go because I'm such a big eater at that time. I would eat almost 10 to 12 times of what I'm eating today.
Stop it.
Really. I never put on weight because my metabolism was like that when my activity was like that.
You guys realize how everything is like superhuman? I ate 10 to 12 times when my metabolism was magnificent. It was the greatest. Some say I had the greatest metabolism. Some say it's because I'm a guru. My inner intelligence was eating the food.
So I'm not somebody who can bear hunger, I have to eat. But that 1 year I ate only one breakfast and came back in the night and ate dinner. It was huge suffering physically. But I sat there and read just anything and anything, from popular mechanics to Homer, to National Geographics, to this and that, literature, philosophy, particularly geography caught my attention. I read a…
He's gonna say it's all junk, by the way. I haven't seen this interview. My guess is that he's gonna say something like, yeah, I read all of it, it's nonsense. Just listen to your inner person.
a lot about the world geography. That 1 year I gobbled up lots of books. Lots.
How long ago was that?
Huh?
How long ago was that?
I was 18.
So you have not read anything since then?
Not much. I read some literature because I found a taste for literature. But in the last 20, 25 years, I hardly can even read a newspaper. When I'm in India, I get to read newspaper. Here, even getting a newspaper is tough. I can't read on those iPads and all. I don't feel like it's a real thing to read.
Do you think reading is a waste of time? You think there's benefit in reading?
No.
How do you view reading?
See, I'm not reading for, let's say, I never read anything spiritual, ever.
Not the Bible, not the Buddhism,
None of
nothing.
I read literature. I love literature. I read a lot of poetry. I wrote a lot of poetry. And I'll read a lot about world geography.
Why geography? Why interest in geography?
Land always took me. You know, I cycled across South India just to see the land. Then I crisscrossed India on my motorcycle many times over at that time. So
$2,500 glasses, $3,500 to $6,500 watch. This guy's watches and his watch and his glasses are almost 10K. It's nice not knowing anything. It must be nice not knowing anything and being a professional BSer. Pays well, I guess, to not know jack squat and just make up random stories to confuse people and act like what you're saying is meaningful.
because for me, the land, not going anywhere in particular, simply end to end till I hit the border. I go and again turn back and ride another direction. Like that I rode. Because for me, drinking up the land, even today, I just do those kind of rides. I rode across Canada, I rode to Tibet last year.
I know you're big on motorcycles, you definitely like to do that.
It's not about the motorcycle, it's about the land.
It's not about the motorcycle, it's about the land.
Very many features of the land, the way the world is, this is the planet we live on, all right?
So why don't you walk? If it's about the land, barefoot walk on the land.
That then what?
Why'd you only have one kid?
Huh?
Why one kid?
I said only one mistake I make, I never repeat my mistakes.
Is that really why?
Actually,
You guys catch that? He has one kid, didn't have any more kids. Not that we know of, by the way. With these types of folks, you'd be surprised what's behind the scenes. Okay? You'd be absolutely surprised what's behind the scenes.
I never wanted to have children, but my wife said she felt that she may feel that she has missed that experience of having a child. So I said, okay. Now my daughter decided not to have children. So
Why didn't you want children? Why didn't you want children?
I had a lot to do and everybody's mine. All the people who are with me, they're more than my children.
But you didn't want to have more kids? You didn't want to have 5, 10 kids?
I have millions of them.
But your own blood, that didn't do anything for you as a man growing up, that you wanted more kids?
It's up to you whether you have children of your blood or of your spirit. For me, children who are of my spirit are more important than blood.
Tell me why.
Because it's more significant.
Children of your spirit are more important than the children of your blood?
Yes.
More significant?
It is.
So you're saying you could have a child of your blood that is not of your spirit?
No, no, no. It can be of your spirit also, but for that, you don't have to be of your blood.
Huh. So what do you think is the biggest accomplishment in a man's life? You hear different proverbs, will say a man should do 3 things in his lifetime: have a child, plant a tree, write a book. What do you think is the biggest accomplishment for a man? This whole thing with Vitamin and PBD podcast started.
He actually says plant a tree here.
Mean the world to us. Thank you so much.
Well, plant a tree. It's not an accomplishment, it's a sensible thing
I saw that clip on Twitter.
to do. Have a child. Well, not a must now because we are already 8.4, 8.5 billion people.
So you think we have plenty?
Huh?
You think we have plenty?
We are more than plenty. In the beginning of 20th century, we were 1.6 billion people. Today, we are 8.5 billion people. We are wonderful, but we are just too many. There are a whole lot of people who will start a campaign against me. Oh, he's depopulation person. It's not about depopulation, it's about sensible living. The only problem we have on this planet is the human footprint, isn't it?
I agree. It's the human footprint. Like what it took to make your glasses, and what it took to make your hat, and what it took to make your watch, and the fact that you got at the very least $10,000 on your wrist and your face. And this guy's sitting there talking to us about the human footprint and how there's too many of us. You absolute hypocrite. Telling us not to have kids. Why? So you can have more expensive crap?
The only problem we have is a human footprint.
Human footprint is too large.
You think that's what it is?
Suppose you were an ant, you would understand what I'm saying. If you were a microbe, you would understand. If you were a bird, you would understand. If you were any other creature on this planet, you would understand. Human footprint is too large. In the last 70 years, 74% of the vertebrate population on the planet has disappeared.
By the way, can somebody actually fact check what he's about to say? He goes into these percentages, again, the other clip I saw on Twitter, but he says 74% of the vertebrate population has disappeared, and he gives percentages. Somebody write those down, fact check it, and let me know if what he's saying is true. Okay? I'm going to play it right now, so please fact check it.
For any other creature on this planet, you would understand human footprint is too large. In the last 70 years, 74% of the vertebrate population on the planet has disappeared. 82% of the insect population has disappeared. 92% of the freshwater life has disappeared. We're just working towards our own extinction because without us they can live, without them we cannot live. So when will we come to our senses? If you talk about this, now there's competition between religions, this religion is producing more children, so another religion wants to produce more children, this debate is going on big time in India. Well, all of it will go towards destruction like this. One thing is, individual human beings' footprint is too large compared to what it was 100 years ago. What 10 men used to consume, today 1 man is consuming, or what 100 people used to consume, 1 man is consuming. Just look at this. Your grandfather, how many sets of clothes he had and what you have? You have 20…
My grandfather didn't have $10,000 watches and stuff, but you do. I wonder if your grandchildren will have $15,000 watches and $20,000 glasses. But he said that his daughter, his spiritual grandchildren, let's say.
$25 times more than him, yes or no?
True.
Unless he was a Maharaja or something.
No, true.
So our footprint as it is larger, our aspirations are larger. You can't curtail human aspiration, but you can manage or plan human population. But we are in competition, my blood versus your blood. Well, both the bloods will spill one day.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I wonder, because if somebody asked me right now and said, okay, what did you pick up from the conversation? I would say, one,
Pat trying to like collect himself and summarize what this guy is saying.
Pursue your potential. If you want to do something big, you don't have a lot of time. If you want to do a lot of small things, you have a lot of time. Take your time. You're fine, right? Okay, that's one thing I took away from you. Accomplishment is, hey, what should I dedicate my life to? What would you say I should dedicate my life to? Is the answer going to be to each his own, whatever you want to dedicate it to? Is there anything worth dedicating my life to?
See, there's only one thing that human being or any other creature seeks, its own well-being. His well-being is in its becoming a full-fledged life, isn't it? A tree, if you go beneath the earth and see how the plants are fighting among themselves to become full-fledged life, so is an insect, so is a bird, so is an animal, so is a human being. Only thing is, human potential, as I said, is not defined. It's left to you, how far you want to go. So when this is the case, if we think of doing everything physically, inevitably we'll be in conflict. Let's look at it this way. See, whoever you are right now, you want to be something more than who you are right now, isn't it?
Sure.
Everybody, I'm saying.
Sure, yeah.
So if that something more happens right now, then what?
Then more.
Something more.
Sure.
Okay, that happened, what?
More.
Something more. So how much more will settle you?
Nothing.
Oh, you already know this, you're enlightened.
No, it means I don't think we ever will.
That's what I'm saying. If I make you the king of this planet, will you settle down? No, you will look at the moon.
Sure.
If I give you the moon, will you settle down? You look at the rest of the solar system. If I give you one galaxy, will you settle down? You look at the next one. Because there is something within a human being which doesn't like boundaries. So, you want to expand boundlessly.
Right.
If you want to expand boundlessly, you and me will naturally become conflict if you try to do it physically. Physically, if you try to become boundless, is there a conflict or not right now? If you try to occupy this whole room, is there a conflict between the other people who are here in this room or not? Immediately there is.
Not right now. I mean, maybe not for me, but
No. You want to expand physically.
Sure.
This is how you know
So you want to occupy
Pat's
all
not
the
tracking
space.
with him.
Naturally there's conflict.
Okay,
with
because he said so much word nonsense, and Pat's having a hard time tracking with this. What he's trying to say is, if you expand physically, you're going to run into other objects, other people, and there's going to be a conflict. That's what he's trying to say. But 56 minutes into this, Pat's brain's probably fried because of the absolute crap that's come out of this guy's mouth. At least for me, I've been able to pause it and talk and speak to you guys and stuff. Pat's had to be stuck there listening to this nonsense. So Pat's, like, you realize it takes a lot more attention to listen to a stupid person, because you're like, okay, I'm on camera, I'm interviewing this guy, I'm trying to ask some reasonable questions because most of the stuff he's saying is absolute nonsense. That's draining.
somebody else, because I also want to expand.
Yes, competition.
Yes.
Yes.
So I'm saying, once you realize your fundamental goal is to expand limitlessly, you must understand it cannot be done physically. The moment you realize that, that is when you turn spiritual.
Cannot be done physically. Cannot be done physically because you're limited.
No. Physical is a defined boundary.
Right.
You call something physical only because it has a defined boundary. If I take away all the boundaries of your body, you don't have physicality left, isn't it? So, but the longing to expand is limitless. So obviously it cannot be done physically.
Is that a bad thing to be that ambitious? Is there a time where…
No, you're not getting me. This is not about ambition. This is the fundamental nature of our consciousness. It wants to expand limitlessly. What you call as ambition is a constipated condition of your consciousness.
Constipated?
We just want to get fat.
Ambition of your consciousness?
Your ambition is a constipated expression of your consciousness. Your consciousness wants to expand limitlessly. Your ambition wants to do it little by little. Because it understands life only physically.
It only understands life.
See, everything that's physical about you, where did you get this from?
Everything that's physical about me, where did I get it from? Where did I get it from?
The Turkish guy today.
Right. That's right.
The food that you've eaten, right?
Yes.
The food that you've eaten. So from this being this big baby, you became like this, just the food that you've eaten. Where did that come from? From the soil that you walk upon. So what you call as myself physically is just a piece of this planet.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh, Lord have mercy. Father, protect people from this stupidity, please. This guy's essentially saying you are the planet. You are what you eat. Like there's a difference, man. Just because I eat the apple doesn't mean I am the apple. Those are very basic rules and laws within logic.
Picked it up. But suddenly you're thinking, this is me. It's like this. There is
But
water
it's
in
not
this
you.
glass.
This guy didn't know what water was. Now he's telling us we're the earth. Look, it would be funny, and it is funny, but it would be even funnier if nobody paid attention to this guy. If people thought he's just an idiot. He doesn't know what he's talking about. The sad part of this is that there's millions of people that listen to this guy and think he's saying something smart.
This is not me right now. If I drink it, does it become me or not?
No!
It becomes you.
You 72% of your body is water.
I know, but
Where did it come? You picked it up from Mars, is it?
You drink it.
Of course.
Sure.
So that's how this will become me if I drink it?
It'll become you temporarily until you go to the bathroom.
Not everything will go to the
Not
bathroom.
all of it, yeah.
Yes. Some of it will become me or no?
Sure, absolutely.
What we drank yesterday, 10 years ago, has become us or no?
Sure.
There's blood in your body, I think so. What do you think?
Sure.
It's so, I'm saying what you eat and drink all came from the planet.
Yeah.
You borrow something, you eat and make it a part of yourself.
Well, let me ask you this. You said something about boundaries, competition, physical, all of that.
Constipation, I said.
Right. So on the physical side, there's a lot of wars going on right now. There's a lot of
Don't go there, we'll come there. First, let's address the human problem. Because if you don't understand the human problem, you think war is political. No, it's human.
Well, I know that, and I think the part I'm trying to
Politics are run by human beings.
Qualify with you is there a, you know how they say, let's do a peace deal. Sadhguru, let's do a peace deal. Let's do a peace deal. Is there such a thing as peace in a world when everybody has different beliefs and different ideologies and different religions?
They're saying, let's enjoy this weekend. They're just saying, let's
Right.
enjoy this weekend.
Instead of, let's go back
pass
to war
on
on
the
Monday.
problem to our children and go away.
Huh. And what would you say to them?
It's it's inane, if not insane. I didn't say insane, I said inane way of handling life. Because, there was a time when people were inviting me to all kinds of world peace conferences. I genuinely believe these people are working for it, and I went for a few global ones. Then I realized…
How much
for
did
a
they
whole
pay
lot of
you?
these people,
How much did they pay you? So I'm looking, I searched how many people listen to this guy. Sadhguru has a massive global audience estimated in the millions to billions, driven by digital platforms and environmental campaigns. Key metrics include 115 million live viewers for his 2025 Mahashivratri event. 3.9 billion people engaged through his Safe Soil movement and over 10 million Instagram followers. It would be sad, right? That's the sad reality of it. It'd be funny if nobody paid attention to him. Now, I'm not going to take those numbers and run with them, even if you have those. Even if you have those. His event audiences, large events draw huge crowds, such as 12,000 person gatherings in London and 14,000 in Delhi.
conference hopping is a profession by itself. Then one very big one where 42, Nobel laureates are attending this, they invited me to speak there, I went. Day one, I sat there and heard everybody reading out their speeches, all Nobel laureates. And day two, post-lunch, there's one Nobel laureate speaking and then I'm speaking. I'm in the front row listening to every word, thinking, really we are working for world peace. Then this man comes and puts his file down on the podium and he never looked up. He just read. I just sat there counting pages and listening to every word. 42 pages he read. Then I looked around, the whole hall, except the hotel security people and the staff who were standing, everybody's asleep.
Asleep?
I thought this is really world peace, It is world peace.
He was that bad.
And then my
See the
turn to
flex there?
speak, I went up. Most of them.
Did you guys get it? See the flex there? It's like, oh, this Nobel laureate who's an intelligent, smart person got up, put everybody to sleep. Then I got up to speak. I'm nobody. I don't know anything. I haven't read a book in 25 years. That kind of sneaky manipulation. Right? That's the manipulation that happens with these guys. And you got to catch it.
Them are like this. Then with my bullhorn voice, oh, I chanted. Then everybody sat up, what is this? Then I said, here we are talking about world peace. How many of you can genuinely put your hand on your heart and say, your mind is peaceful? They were at least honest enough. They said, no, our mind is not peaceful.
Sure.
I said, if you can't make your mind peaceful, how the hell are you going to make this world peaceful? Where are there millions and millions of minds working at once? On every aspect. You can't keep your mind peaceful, but you want to make the world peaceful. Making the world peaceful essentially means we can make 8 billion people's minds peaceful one way or the other, isn't it?
How do you do that though?
Then after the session was over, I inquired, how come uniformly everybody was sleeping? I said, no, Sadhguru, yesterday evening there was a Bacardi festival. Oh, free alcohol. Free alcohol was flowing and everybody is peaceful. That is how people are trying to be peaceful now. Soak your brains in alcohol in the weekend, or there are more potent things in Florida, I'm sure, to make them peaceful.
Florida have more than alcohol. You got to think bigger than that.
That's what I'm saying. They have more potent stuff to make them peaceful.
For sure.
See, if you knock out your brains, you will be peaceful. If you remove half your brain, you will be always peaceful like this. So essentially, you do not know how to handle your own intelligence. That's the only problem human being has, isn't it? If you had the brain of an earthworm, you would be quite peaceful. You wouldn't need anybody's help.
If you had a brain of who?
Earthworm. And you would be eco-friendly too.
Interesting. So then the question…
It's not interesting, it's a fact.
But I want to stay on this though. What do we do? Is it more to accept the fact that if we all have different values and principles and things…
I'm committed now, man. I gotta finish this.
Are we forcing people to get along? Is that like an impossible thing? Because the more these guys talk about peace, the more I'm hearing force than I see peace. Because peace means freedom is out. You better listen to me to be at peace. How do we do that?
I must tell you this. I was to speak at Tel Aviv a few years ago, before all these situations happened. I'm flying from Atlanta. Some technical issue with the airplane and it got delayed. I was supposed to land at 11 in the morning, speak at 6:30 in the evening, but I landed at 6 in the evening. I'm flying an American airline. You know, there's nothing edible on the plane. They're throwing some dog parts to you, which I don't eat. So I'm famished by the time I land there.
This guy just threw American Airlines under the bus.
I have no time, so I change quickly in the airport and rush. And this never happens to me, but on that day, I'm speaking in a fine restaurant in Tel Aviv. I thought, this is a great place. When you're this hungry, this is the best place to come, but I have no time to eat. I can at least imbibe the smells. As I walk in, people have already come in, many of them, and they're greeting me. And one guy comes and says, Shalom. I ask him, what does it mean? He says, this is the highest way of greeting. I said, that's your opinion. Tell me, what does it mean?
By the way, this is a gentleman who's asking another gentleman, what does a word mean, who doesn't believe words have meanings? Living, breathing contradictions. If all words are sounds people make and the meanings of what you say in your head, what right do you have to ask a person for the meaning of a word? That's logic.
He said, no, it's really the highest way of greeting. I said, it's all right, what does the word mean? He said, it means peace. I said, see, in South India, where I am from, in the morning I go and tell somebody, peace. You'll ask, what's wrong with you? Whatever you're denied of for a long period of time will become the highest goal in your life. If I deny you food…
Wow.
For 5 days, then, you know, there's a joke in India, that if you go and ask a beggar, how much is 2 plus 2? He says 4 chapatis. Right? Your consciousness gets filled with those things you're deprived of. So you come to America, everybody's saying, love is God, God is love. Arey, love is a human emotion. Human beings need it to be pleasant to each other. Whether people are saying the core of universe is love, why the hell does core of universe be loving, huh? It has enough gravity to hold things together, I'm glad. I'm not expecting core of universe to be loving to me. You as a human…
That's direct. That's the stuff, right? Like, okay, now we can do some apologetics. Yeah, all the nonsense he said. Now, by the way, a guy who doesn't think there's meaning and all these things is now doing a lot of teaching. He's doing a lot of yapping, and he's talking about how the core of the universe, the source of all things, is what he means, is loving towards us. No, he said this guy in that one statement is claiming that he knows better than Jesus. That's what he's saying. He's equating himself. He's bringing himself up to Jesus at the same level and saying Jesus was wrong. God is love. No, the Bible's wrong. God is beyond that. And this is just true of these new agey types, where they'll always appeal to it's deeper than that, it's beyond that. There's more mystery towards it, it's mystical, this and that nonsense. Now he knows what all these words mean. The guy doesn't know what water is, knows what God is, and the core of the universe is, and what love is, and what numbers are. A guy who stares at water and doesn't know what water is. So I don't know what it is. I look at it for 5 hours.
Human being, if you're loving, you feel pleasant and wonderful within you. Your emotions are pleasant. Or let me put it this way. See, being pleasant is important for a human being, experience being pleasant. If your body is pleasant, we call this health. You want it? Say yes or no, man.
Health?
Health.
Yes.
See, clear yes.
Absolutely.
Not to me. Every cell in your body must hear it. It's very important.
Oh, listen, I definitely want health, especially after I tore my ACL 2 days ago. So I want a lot of health. Yes.
Tell all the cells in your body, I want health, because those guys can mess up your life so badly if they misunderstand you.
The new agey nonsense. Your cells aren't self-aware and conscious that you're speaking to them. Mind over matter nonsense. It is a recycled crap, but it's in a different language. Say it to the cells. Let the cells hear you so you can self-heal yourself. And then people go and die because they refuse medication and they've been telling their cells to do stuff. Who's responsible at that point? Who's the evil one at that point?
If I say, do you want health? You say, suppose they don't understand what you want. So pleasantness in the body is called health. If it became very pleasant, we call it pleasure. You want it?
Yes.
If your mind becomes pleasant, we call it peace. You want it?
Absolutely.
If it becomes very pleasant, we call it joy. Huh?
Absolutely, all day.
If your emotions become pleasant, we call it love.
All day, twice on Sunday.
If it becomes very pleasant, we call it compassion. If your very life energies become pleasant, we call this blissfulness. If it becomes very pleasant, we call it ecstasy. If your surroundings become pleasant, we call it success. Only to create pleasantness in your surroundings, you need the cooperation of many forces around you. But pleasantness of body, pleasantness of mind, pleasantness of emotion and pleasantness of energy is 100% your business. If this one thing everybody gets, they being wonderful human beings is a reality. Right now, somebody thinks it's in a bottle, somebody thinks it's in heaven, somebody thinks it's in a philosophy, somebody thinks it's in a man or a woman. Everybody is trying to squeeze it from somewhere. But a simple reality is this: human experience.
Do you notice that? Did you guys catch that? Somebody thinks it's in a bottle, religion, philosophy, this, that, but it's really in. Let me rephrase it. Here's all the things people believe it's in, but they're all wrong. I'm right. I'm going to tell you what's in. By the way, I don't know anything.
Experiences are manufactured within yourself. Human experiences are caused from within. What is
for a guy who doesn't know anything, this guy talks a lot. For a guy who claims there's no meaning to words, he yaps a lot of words.
Try to squeeze it from outside, what will happen? Let me tell you this story. A potato farmer one day had a desire to eat apples. So he went to the apple tree. But out of sheer habit, he started digging for apples. He dug quite a bit and no apples, so he dug furiously. Then the tree came down on him. This is the reality of the human being right now. For what is inside, you're digging up the whole goddamn world, turning it upside down, in pursuit of human happiness and well-being. That is what is destroying the world, isn't it?
It is. So I'm trying to see what I took away from what you
In
said.
is the only way out. You
Pat is so nice.
want to write
Pat's like, I'm trying to make sense of all this nonsense I just heard.
down, in is the only way out.
In is the only way out.
Out if you're looking for well-being.
So you haven't answered my question yet, though.
Uh-oh, that's good. Good stuff, Pat.
So world peace.
We'll come to world peace. You've not even handled the human being yet.
I understand that. I understand that. But
World peace is just a slogan, okay? It's just a slogan and it's a profession for some people.
I agree. That's what I agree. My impression is that. My impression is they've made it into a business.
Yes, I told you conference hopping itself
That's
is a
right.
big business.
Well, I mean, it's just a guilt factor, right? You know, well, let's do this and let's do that. And
If you want to create a peaceful human being, or if you want to create peaceful human beings…
Society.
There's no… See, all these are words. Let's get to this.
This guy just yapped a lot and then now he's like, society. He's like, no, these are all words. They don't mean anything. But yeah, they are words. Of course they're words. What else would they be? Cats? This guy said, these are all words. What do you want it to be, man?
Society, world, global, this thing, family, all these are just words. Actually, there's you and me here. If both of us are peaceful, this room is peaceful. As simple as that.
This place is peaceful.
This guy wouldn't like having a conversation with me because it definitely won't be peaceful. In at least the way he understands peaceful. Demons aren't going to be at peace when you're around and calling them out for the nonsense that they're trying to teach people.
Right now. Yes?
Depends.
See that? Did you see that? Because Pat just told him you didn't answer my question. So don't ignore that. Notice what he says here.
As simple as that.
This place is peaceful right now. Yes?
Depends.
Exactly. Don't push me.
I can cause some havoc if I want.
We don't want that. We want peace.
I'm
is what we
saying
want.
if you and me are peaceful,
Yeah.
this is peaceful.
Right.
If like this, if 1 million people are peaceful by themselves, the town is peaceful.
It's easy with 2. It's hard with 1 million. It's even harder with 1 billion.
No, it is not even easy with 2. 2 people, you know how much violence happens between them verbally and stuff. More violence than 2 nations. Much more happens within families, okay? So it is not possible to have between 2 people or 10 people or 1 million people or 1 billion people. It is only possible that you can be peaceful.
You.
Yep.
So 1v1, you.
Yes. Because human experience is caused from within, not from outside.
Got it.
In is the only way out.
Let me ask you, can a successful, ruthless…
You know, Jesus said, whatever you store up in your heart is the overflow of your mouth. This guy's got his version, and it's a dumb version of that, by the way, which is in is the only way out. Deep stuff. In is the only way out.
businessman be at peace? Can a ruthless, successful businessman who's a winner be at peace?
Only if he's at peace, he can win, otherwise he'll make a fool of himself.
Tell me more.
Are you the guy? No, depending on that, I'll choose my words.
Will you say you were like that back in the days? Like when you were running a business? Like it was…
See, the word ruthless is not something that I would associate myself with, but am I always seeing how to make things work? Yes.
Yeah, he is ruthless. Because he's grifting, because he's conniving, because he's manipulating, he's a ruthless man. This guy's not a nice guy. This whole, I'm an old guy with a gray beard and I talk this way and I say it's about you and peace and stuff like that. That's all a facade. This guy is making a lot of money on duping people and manipulating people. That's what he's about. He's ruthless. Destroying people's livelihoods and their families and their lives by teaching absolute nonsense. He's definitely ruthless. And I don't buy the crap about he's at peace and stuff.
You're successful not because you want to be successful. You're successful because you do things the right way. This is something we must understand. You know, I was talking to somebody in a conversation and at that time, now that whole thing, the Pakistani teams have broken down very badly, unfortunately. But at that time, India-Pakistan cricket match means it's a big deal.
Biggest in the world. like World Cup is one. Sometimes you guys are even more than World Cup.
Yeah, now that Pakistani teams have collapsed, whatever reasons. But at that time, this guy asked me, Sadhguru, last question, how to beat Pakistan in cricket? I said, see, if you want to beat Pakistan, you must send Indian army. Cricket means, don't beat Pakistan, hit the goddamn ball. Why are you trying to beat Pakistan? You just have to hit the ball right. In this emotion of wanting to beat Pakistan, you will do something stupid. So I'm saying, for you to be successful, it's not because you're ruthless, because you want to win, you will win. It is because you do things right. If you want to do things right, you need insight, inspiration, and integrity.
Just use this. If I was Pat, I would just stop him and say, but those are all words. What really exists is me and you. How do people listen to this without seeing those? I don't have an answer to that, you guys. I really like the guy. 5 minutes. If you listen to this guy for 10 minutes, you'll catch him contradicting himself 10 times. When Pat says something that's pushing him, those are all just words. Society, peace, global, all words. What really exists is me and you. Then he's
right.
This.
You need insight, inspiration, and integrity. If you're a loner in your business, inspiration and insight will do. But if you have to inspire 1,000 people around you, you need integrity. If there is no integrity, you can't inspire anybody. People will not be inspired or trustworthy if they don't see you as an inspiration. And you will be inspiration only if they see you with a very highest level of integrity. Otherwise, people will go away.
So you think that's the highest value of a man? A man
No.
of integrity?
No, I'm saying to make things happen in the world. See, you are trying to drop like 10 commandments from whatever I'm speaking, don't do that.
No, that's not what I'm doing. I'm trying to see for you because I'm very comfortable with who I am as a man. I'm not somebody that's uncomfortable.
I didn't say that.
I am, no, but listen, at one point in my life, you're in search and then you get very clear with your life and you pursue. But I love talking to other people who have clear philosophies to see what…
See, what if somebody doesn't have a philosophy but they have clarity?
I think clarity is a byproduct of having clear philosophies.
No. Philosophy means you become a one-track mind. And with a one-track mind, you look like you're clear, but you will collide with something. All fanatics are very clear. They're even willing to die because they're very clear where they're going.
So basically, if you have clear answers to questions, you're in the wrong. And what you need to do is get rid of meaning, get rid of ideas, get rid of all these things that are actually gonna bring about that stuff, and develop what he believes, what he's teaching. Words don't have meaning. All that exists is life. When people talk, they're just making sounds. You interpret, you make the meaning up in your mind. You talk to yourselves. That's the real stuff, because that's expanded thinking. That's one with, whatever, the universe and stuff like that, because that's usually where these things end up anyways. But if you're pushing and saying be philosophically consistent, don't contradict yourself, it won't work. They're going to have to deny all proper thinking in order to be able to bamboozle people the way they do. Folks like this. Or else it doesn't work. Dumb down your audience. Tell them all the questions they're asking that are critical are bad because that's one-way thinking. That's going to make you collide. That's not going to bring about peace, because you're going to find conflicts and contradictions in the people you're listening to, and then dump your slop on them so that you can use them.
It's very dangerous. Those people who will not let you make the world peaceful.
What clear belief system do you have? What do you believe in that nobody can contradict you? Like where you can't go and say, man, I never thought about it that way.
I don't believe anything, nor do I disbelieve anything.
Oh, man.
This is a sickness of the highest order.
I don't believe anything. nor do I disbelieve anything. Do you believe you exist? No. Yes. I don't believe it, and I believe it. And somehow this is okay.
I just look at life the way it is. Isn't that important? If you want to navigate through this life, you must see things the way they are, not the way you want to see. The moment you believe something, you will see it the way you want to see it.
Then how do you know between right and wrong? How do you know between right and wrong?
Well, if it works for this life and every life around you…
By the way, that's a belief. He just said he doesn't believe anything or disbelieve anything. And then he says, the difference between right and wrong is if it works for people, for you and people around you, then that's right. And if it doesn't work, then it's not right.
That's the right thing to do. If it doesn't work for life around you, it's not the thing to do. It's not about right and wrong. What is appropriate to the life around you right now? That's what you do.
What is appropriate for the life around you right now? That's what you do. So you're…
These are the dumbest ideas that people can't live. So what's appropriate for the life around us maybe is to bomb Iran because it's appropriate for them. What is he going to say to that? Like, how do you use this philosophy to live life and make complicated decisions? Like, if I was Pat, and I haven't seen this part, but if I was Pat, I would ask a question like, suppose I got a worker and I have to fire them because that's good for the life around me. But for the life around him, it's not good being fired. According to your philosophy, what should I do? This is not utilitarianism, guys. It's not even utilitarianism. Because utilitarianism, Ivan says, that the ends justify the means. Right? It's are we getting the greatest kind of impact? It's not even that.
saying what may be right today could have been wrong 100 years ago?
Oh, yes, of course.
Tell me more.
That's the wrong question Pat asked. That's the wrong question because he's going to slide by these things. And he's going to make a mess of this.
Now, in Tamil Nadu, where I come from now, a great hero 1,000 years ago meant Ayira Ane Konnavan. This means one who has slain 1,000 elephants. He's a heroic man. Because at that time, that guy did it with a spear or a sword, and there were elephants and elephants everywhere. So if you kill 1,000 elephants, you were…
I'm curious here. Dr. Alex May says, I used to follow this guy. I eventually realized all these gurus keep you thinking that if you listen just a bit more, you will finally get the point. But it never lands. It's totally empty. Because they're saying pointless things, Alex. Because they're meaningless statements. Because they violate the laws of logic. That's why. And they don't land it because once they do, it's immediately going to contradict everything they said. These men are bottomless pits. These are people who claim to give you water while keeping you thirsty all the time. That's what they are.
honored as a great hero. Today, if you touch one, you'll be in prison. Things have changed. Situation has changed. Elephants have not changed. Elephants are the same elephants, its life is valuable to itself. But situation has changed. What we think is right and wrong has changed, isn't it?
So, if 100 years from now…
In the United States, I see there are lumber competitions. I think…
why isn't this guy giving… again, Pat, like these are moments where if I was Pat, I would just lean into questions like, tell me if you think it was okay 300 years ago to commit genocide. Like, do you think it was good for the British to come and take over your country and do all the things that they did to your country? Because back then it was okay. Now it's not. Times have changed. You can't complain about it.
Hopefully they're gone now, but they were there even a few years ago. Lumberjacks with an axe, how quickly can you knock down a tree?
They still do it till today. It's very competitive.
Even today,
on ESPN, till today.
So that would have been a great thing when people came from Europe or England or wherever. So who can cut the tree quickly? That guy only could build his house first, his family would be safe, things like this. But today you want to cut down all the sequoia trees because you got a big axe and you got big muscle. It's stupid to do that. At that time, it meant something. If you're a man, if you can cut down a tree quickly, you could build a house, you could do this, you could build a bridge, you could build a boat. So many things were there. So I'm saying what's right today may not be appropriate tomorrow. So that's why it is very important that you're looking at life for what it is and do the right thing for that, not some fixed idea.
You don't think there's 100% right things to do today, 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago? I mean, you can't be saying that.
Anything that nurtures life around you is the right thing to do.
That's the way you avoid it, huh? That's the way you avoid it. Anything that nurtures life around you.
Anything that destroys life around you is not the right thing to do, all right? Because we are life. We didn't drop from somewhere else, we are life. The highest value that we have is life. So, if you have one philosophy and I have another philosophy, inevitably we will fight somewhere.
You do have a philosophy. Everything you're spouting, all the nonsense that coming, all the noise you're making is a philosophy. And there is a conflict. I am at conflict with you. Not because of me, because of you. You immediately raise yourself up to a place to discredit what the Bible says about God. You started the conflict with Christianity.
Philosophy is one thing. You believe one thing, I believe another thing. We will fight somewhere, it's just a question of time. Why are we creating such divisions and trying to patch up? As human beings, we breathe the same air, we come from the same soil. If you and me are buried in the same place, the worms eat us and make us the same soil once again. Why are we not getting the point right now?
Let me ask you, what do you tell people when they ask you for marital advice? What do you tell them?
Marital?
Yes.
Don't mess it up.
What do you tell them? What
Don't
advice
mess
do you
it
give?
up.
See, two people come together. Initially, when you come together, you have a need for the other person, the other person has a need for you.
Right.
The need is physical, psychological, emotional, maybe economic, maybe social.
Sure.
So many aspects. When you come together, you come because you need it. But after some time, you think only that person needs it. This is the problem. You always remember, I have made this relationship for fulfilling my needs. Then you will approach it with little humility. But if you think I'm fulfilling that person's needs, then you will do things which are unfortunate and unpleasant to each other.
Think marriage is a good thing? Like, you think men should experience marriage, or to each his own?
See, if you do not know how to allow another person to walk all over you a little bit, you may be in your own illusion of who you are. So marriage is that place where it need not necessarily be marriage, it could be even your own choice of how you do things. But you're allowing another person means some part of you should go. See, this is why the English term, falling in love is a good term. You don't rise in love, you don't climb in love, you don't fly in love, you fall in…
This guy just told us words don't have meanings. And now he's telling us that the term falling in love is a really good, meaningful term. Words don't have meanings, but falling in love, meaningful term. It's great.
in love. Something of you must fall. You're willing to take a part of you and throw it away so that the other person is accommodated, which is a very good thing, because this is what yoga means. Yoga means union. The word yog means to yoke or…
Man, for someone who doesn't believe in meanings and words having meanings, this guy really spends a lot of time talking about the meaning of words.
to unite. So right now, union is not my philosophy or your philosophy. Do you breathe?
Do I breathe?
Yeah,
of course.
So what you exhale, the tree outside is inhaling. What it exhales, you're inhaling. Are we in yoga or not?
Sure.
We are, but we are not conscious, that's a problem. I started a whole movement in southern India just by making people experience this, made them sit there and said, see what you're exhaling, trees are inhaling. What they're exhaling, you're inhaling. Today we planted 138 million trees, living trees, because of this one experience in
Did you say 138 million?
Yes.
Wow.
Don't say, wow, it's not enough, it's a drop in the ocean.
Yeah, I mean, that's still more than the average person, you know? The average person, I don't think, has planted one.
See, that's the problem. Why are you an average person? You're not… nobody is an average person. Everybody thinks he's special. But when it comes to contributing, he becomes average. When it comes to getting, he becomes a big guy. Nobody is average. In his mind, he's special. Why doesn't he do that?
I've planted multiple trees in my backyard.
It's just, we've been curated like this.
Rob, did you get that? Well, we gotta go plant some trees, Rob. We're doing the wrong thing right now, man. We gotta stop the podcast and go out there and do…
I'll plant for you. You tell me how many you want.
Oh, no problem.
And
Yeah,
give me
no
money.
problem.
Say it. Say it. Because they're… hey, It's not you tell me. If it's like that, I want him to plant 100 million trees. No, but then he's going to say, but Arthur, you got to give us money to do all this. Uh-huh. How else are you going to wear $10,000 worth of glasses and watch?
Crazy question for you. When I was building my sales team, we built a good-sized insurance company nationally. We licensed 60,000 insurance agents. We had a lot of young guys. And a conversation of sexual desire would come up for men. Okay, and some of them, you know, you're married. You're like, hey, so how do you manage the sexual urge that you naturally have? What would you say to them?
If there are, as I said, relationships happen because of physical, psychological, emotional, and social needs, sometimes financial needs also. Right now, I'm not trying to make a statement on this culture or whatever, but it's a fact that we have overly exaggerated the physicality of what a human being is, particularly in these societies, especially in the United States of America. I must tell you this, because you have this inner engineering book. I was talking to… we have never hired a marketing agency or a PR agency. We can't afford it, it's just our volunteers working. I have over 19 million volunteers, everybody is a PR for me. So I never could afford, but one guy, one PR guy who's supposed to be…
He said, we can't afford to hire PR agencies. And he's got expensive watch and expensive glasses on. That's why you can't afford them, man. And why pay people if you can bamboozle people into volunteering for you? But the Bible says the opposite of this. The Bible says that a worker is worthy of his wages. We volunteer, we help. But it is good to pay people fairly. That's a biblical principle. But words don't have meaning. Money doesn't matter, because all that's important is you being one with the universe, because the trees you plant is who you really are.
Maybe fourth or fifth company in the country, he came and did the program. Then I asked this guy, free consultation. I don't pay anybody anything, this is my expertise.
Of course, everybody comes to you.
So, I asked him, see, we made this inner engineering online program new at that time. I said, see, a few thousand people are doing it. Why aren't millions of people doing it? Because whoever comes and does it, they say, wow, wow, but millions are not doing it. He told me one thing, Sadhguru, you need to understand United States. If you are willing to say, you will become rich, or your weight loss will happen, or your libido will multiply 10x. If you're willing to say these three things, I will sell millions of your program. If you're not saying this, I have been through the program, I know how valuable it is, but millions will not happen.
What was the second one? You're gonna be rich?
You will… weight loss will happen.
And your libido's gonna 10x.
10x.
Yeah.
Then I will sell millions. I said, okay.
Did you try? Did you start saying, if you come to my course, your libido's gonna 10x?
I'm not willing to say those things, I'm okay the way I am.
Yeah, so what would you say? What would you say for desires, for men to control their desires?
See, desire is there. In human body, there is desire. If this desire was not there, you and me wouldn't be born.
Sure.
All right? Unless you believe you dropped from heaven or something. You born natural birth, right?
Natural birth.
Yes. So somebody had desire. If the desire…
Look at Pat's face.
For men to control their desires.
You wouldn't be born.
Sure.
All right? Unless you believe you dropped from heaven or something. You born natural birth, right?
Natural birth.
Yeah. Yes. So somebody had desire. If the desire is not there, we wouldn't be born. Who would take the trouble of bearing a child and then bringing it up, all this nonsense? It's not easy.
No.
All this is happening because there is a desire. The desire is there because there is a certain amount of pleasure or satisfaction instituted in that whole system. But how much of it is there, if you look at it? If you just take it as a physicality, it's a certain percentage of one's life. But right now, we are pushing it into people's minds. See, it's like this, if you have money in your pocket, it's a good thing, it makes your life comfortable. If there's no money in your pocket, today you have to say, where is my bread? You can't do anything creative in your life. So your bread is assured, your shelter is assured, things are assured for you. This means you can think of your activity raising to a different pitch. Similarly, money should be in the pocket. If it gets to your head, you will get sick. Similarly, sexuality should be in the body. It's gotten into the head, it's a kind of perversion. Too much in the head. People are trying to read sexuality everywhere because everybody's following that Freud, Sigmund Freud guy. Well, he himself was quite sick. Full fearful of death.
I do agree with him on that. Freud was sick. Yes.
You know that? He wanted to go to Egypt, he couldn't travel because he's scared of seeing the mummies.
He was a weird guy.
And that guy was giving all solutions to you, all the best.
A lot of people followed it.
Yes, even today.
Yeah.
A lot of principles are from him.
You think so?
Yes.
On the sexual side?
Yes.
Wow.
He's the one who said everything is libido.
Right. Well, isn't he the guy that he had fantasies with his mother or something? Like, a little weird. You know the story with this, with Sigmund Freud? He talked about
Everything is libido.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So, okay.
So I'm saying it is not in the right place. If it's in your body, it's a limited sphere of life. Right now it's entered your head, it looks like everything is like that. This is something you must cure the society of. Right from childhood, we are cultivating our children like this. And
Hilarious. Hilarious. Did you guys catch that? This guy saying we need to fix this means… Guys, please listen to me. This guy earlier said, I didn't teach anything to my child because we shouldn't be importing our views on kids. Now he's saying our society's sick, we have to teach our children different stuff from childhood. Can't make this up. You know, there's a thing I've used throughout the years, and I heard this a long time ago, but it's this concept of when you talk and you say stuff, and the response could be something like, what you just said isn't right. It's not even wrong. It's nonsense. That's what this guy's doing. Like, he talks, all you need to do with these people is let them talk for a long time. They'll circle around and bite themselves in the butt. They'll circle around and contradict themselves. They just keep talking because there's no singular proper way of thinking and consistency in thought patterns. Don't educate your kids. Educate your kids. Which one? Both. As long as it's good for you. It's all relativism. It's all what makes you feel better. It's all what you think is right. You can't pin them down, man. They're slithery. You can't pin them down. That's part of what a lot of people are attracted to, is that you can't pin them down, which results in people can do whatever they want. So if somebody thinks that it's good for their family and themselves to sleep around and have 85 partners, that's fine. If somebody doesn't want to and they want to be a hermit and go live in the forest, that's fine. If somebody doesn't want to have children, let them not have children. If somebody wants a lot of children, let them. It's all of the relativism. It all comes back down to this, man. It's all the same crap.
they will suffer this, they will not enjoy this. Most human beings, I'm telling you, even in America where there is so much promiscuity or openness to sexuality, even here most people are suffering the urge rather than enjoying the urge, because it's like that. If it's not in the right place, if it's in the body, it has its own beauty. But if it enters your head, it'll become a kind of perversion, it rules you.
Promiscuity?
No. I'm not even saying promiscuity, it's individual choice what people do, but it should not be in your head, it should be in your body.
Yeah, I had a husband and wife that worked with me 20 years ago. Harmy and his wife sing. If his wife was around other wives, all she wanted to talk about was sex.
It's become socially it's become that kind of thing.
It was, have you read this book? Have you tried this
Somebody
with your husband?
telling me, she's a senior vice president in a law firm, which is one of the top firms in the country. She says, Sadhguru, you don't know, in the lunch hour, if you sit there, the only thing, all these men who are over 50, 60 years of age, the only thing they discuss is the woman's body parts. Throughout the lunch, every day, same thing. You just go sit near a window, facing the window, I eat. I can't eat with the people, with my own colleagues.
Mm-hmm.
And if they go off-site somewhere, it just goes crazy. Like schoolboys they are.
What do you think about that? Too much obsession on that?
It's cultivated.
Yeah. Well, I mean, nowadays, you know, you're talking about, forget about porn, like it's gotten to a point that you got OnlyFans, you got girls trying to break records. There's a girl that slept with, I think, 1,000 men. And what was it, 1,000 men in 24 hours? You know, and it gets so much attention. It gets so much attention. Yeah, this girl right here, she said she slept with 1,057 men in 12 hours. Forgive me, I don't want to ruin her record. It was 12 hours, not 24 hours. I don't want her to get upset. What do you think about when you read stories like this? Because they write about this. They're like,
is
hey,
it
look
right
at
or
this, look
wrong,
what she
Saad
did.
Guru?
Gets hundreds of millions of views, and she's not even a guru.
Pat, you sneaky, sneaky guy. Is it right or wrong? Tell us, Saad Guru.
It's unfortunate because many people come and talk to me how at an early age they were exposed to pornography and what happened to their minds after that. They couldn't think of anything. Whether they look at their sisters or mothers, they can't think of anything else and they feel sick. There have been people I know that who committed suicide.
Wow.
Because they just couldn't bear it. Very early age, they saw these things and it just ruled them from inside. See, the sexual instinct is there. Without that, as I said, we wouldn't be born. We're here because of that. So, it's not a question of right and wrong. It's a question… see, anything it is, food. How much to eat? There is a certain consciousness about it, isn't it? Because there is food, if you go on eating, you know what will happen. This is also just like that. These are all physical needs which need to be satisfied, not to be pursued like as if it's the ultimate goal of life.
You brought up Pakistan earlier with cricket, right? And then obviously right now, some of the stuff that's going on, they're negotiating in Islamabad.
I think it's over, right?
I think it is over. 21 hours, nothing happened with it. But just out of curiosity, how do you look at these religions around the world? You got Islam, you got Christianity, you got Judaism,
this
you got
is interesting.
Catholicism. How do you look at all of this?
See, instead of handling those religions, let us look at like this. Do you believe you have two hands?
I do.
You believe?
I see it. I know.
You know you have two hands.
I know. Yeah.
So if I argue with you and try to prove to you, you have no two hands, you know how to make the point to me, right? But so many other things you believe. Why? Because you are not sincere enough to admit, I do not know. I do not know is a tremendous possibility. When you see I do not know, the longing to know, the seeking to know, and the possibility of knowing becomes a living reality for you. Everything that you do not know, if you just believe, well, you believe one thing, that guy believes something else, somebody believes something else. As long as we're separated, we're okay. If you come together, we'll kill each other.
This guy is incorrectly defining what a belief is. A belief is not on a whim. And at least within the Christian world view, a belief is not without evidence. See, knowledge is a belief. The proper definition of knowledge, what he was saying, oh, you know you have two hands. The proper definition of knowledge is justified true belief. So it's got to have evidence and justification to it. It's got to be true, and it's a belief you have. You mentally assent to those things. So this guy is misusing the idea of belief to sidestep the religion conversation. What he just did is he took every religion that makes truth claims, put it into a category of belief, just internally wanting and hoping without any evidence to be the case, and essentially degraded it and put it in the trash bucket.
What for? Why can't we be straight enough to say, what we know, what we do not know, we do not know. Right now the simple thing is this. See, this cosmos is such that so-called men of science, they have openly admitted, we do not know where it begins, where it ends. Yes?
Science, yes, that's what they'll answer.
Men of science have admitted, we do not know where it begins, where it ends.
Sure.
Even the people who claim to be men of God, even they do not know where it begins, where it ends. Some of them still believe the earth is flat and whatever is going on, okay? So even they do not know. In such a vast cosmos, this planet Earth is a tiny little mud ball. Microscopic actually it is. In that, Florida state is a super micro thing. In that, Miami is a super micro thing. In that, you are a big man. This is a serious problem. This has happened only because of what you believe. What you know, you know. What you do not know, if you see I do not know, you will walk gently upon this planet. Because you do not know damn thing actually. In the middle of nowhere, this planet is floating around and you and me sitting here and blabbering like this, not knowing a damn thing. If we know that we do not know, we will walk gently. Right now, everything that we do not know, we believe, and this is it.
See, did you guys catch that? Everything we do not know, we believe. That's not a proper definition of what belief is. It's not what a belief is. A belief is not something you don't know. You could, if you don't know something, that you suspend belief on it. You guys understand me? You withhold a belief on a subject if you don't know it. You don't believe it because you don't know it. I mean, that is as dumb of an explanation as you can give towards what a belief is. But it's the only way he could get around to ignoring all world religions, because it's a part of the whole conversation about religion and faith is these are beliefs we have. But they're justified beliefs we have, at least in the Christian sense. But other religions aim to justify their beliefs as well. Nobody sits there and says, we don't know it, therefore it's a belief we have. That's a made-up category by him. It's a straw man argument. It's an easy argument for him to knock it down and sound smart in doing so.
You should not talk about peace.
Huh.
Why can't we be straight enough? What I do not know, I do not know. What's the problem?
That's part of faith, though. That's part of faith,
That's
because
not-
man
Pat,
is
you're
trying to
wrong
answer
here.
one question that nobody has 100% answer for. And it's what happens when you and I die. Because who knows? Do you know what happens?
Some people are very sure where they're going.
They have faith.
Yes, we are.
That's what I'm saying.
Do you know where you're going when you die?
I'm not going anywhere. I figured out my life fully.
What do you think happens when you die?
Some things you should know only by experience.
Some things you should know only by experience.
Yeah, are you ready?
Tell me.
By experience, I'm saying.
I don't want by experience. I want it to be when it's my time, I'm ready. You know, when he wants to take me, he can take me. But do you know? Do you think you know
I'm very clear.
of where you're going to go?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you think you're going to go?
It's not that you're going to go somewhere, this is all foolish stuff, that you will go somewhere.
You guys notice that? By the way, like, he makes these comments and people sidestep him. It's absolutely against, and the arrogance of it being against religious claims that are made, particularly in this case, Christianity. Jesus said, I am going to the Father to prepare a place for you, and I will come and get you. Should I trust Jesus or Sadhguru, who says that's all nonsense? This you go somewhere. That's stupidity. It's a meaningless statement. This is why a part of me gets upset at this sort of stuff, because these guys act like they're kind and accepting and generous towards all different views, but they're not. They're adamantly against, at the very least, the Christian worldview. And we're going to argue against it. We're going to fight it. We're going to go at it.
At least the physical body, you put it back here, into the earth. If you've not done anything eco-friendly, that's at least that much you must do. I heard in California, they're putting it in boxes and putting in multi-story building.
Yeah.
No, please put it back into the soil. That's the only eco-friendly thing probably you're doing in your life. So you'll go back to the soil, your physical part of you.
Yeah. But the spiritual part of you.
See, spiritual part of you is still a fiction, isn't it? Have you seen anything beyond the body and mind?
But that's what requires faith.
No, it's fiction, I'm saying.
You're saying it's fiction.
Right now, if it's not in your experience, it's…
But words don't have meanings. It's all fiction. Fiction has a meaning. And he intends you to understand what he means by fiction, but will deny that words have meanings. You guys, I can't. I mean, I've been doing this for 2 hours. And he just keeps doing the same thing over again. People listen to this guy, man.
It's just fiction, isn't it?
If it's…
See, I will say something. It may be true.
Right.
But it's not true for you, so it's not true. Yet. That's why I said it's the appropriateness. Because what is true is only what you have experienced. Rest is all imagination and belief.
Yeah, what a boring life though, no? If I don't, like… Marriage is about faith. Having kids is about faith.
Really?
Starting a business is about faith.
It's about, because of faith you got married?
Having faith that it could work. Having faith that it's the right person.
No.
Having faith that you're going to be a decent dad and you're not going to be a failure. Having faith that if I build this business, it could work.
Very wrong approach.
Really? Tell me why. Because about
you take a
7 billion people live that way.
You take a woman in your
This guy just told Pat he's wrong. He doesn't believe that right and wrong exist.
life.
Yeah.
With the trust that you will do the right thing with her and make it work, not with the faith that it will work. It will not work like that.
Yeah, you don't know if you're going to do the right.
By the way, I think Pat is defining faith incorrectly. That's why he's running into these troubles. I think Pat should, he's had a number of really good apologists on. Faith is not the absence of belief. Faith is not suspending belief. That's not how faith is defined biblically.
Right thing.
Arif, you believe that you'll do the right thing, and
I believe
you
because
try
it's
to
faith.
you try to do the right thing.
Yeah, because
but many times you can't figure out what's the right thing.
Well,
let me tell you a joke. Are you
please,
okay? You're
I like
getting
jokes.
too serious.
No, I like jokes.
Shankaran Pillai, you heard of him?
Who's this?
Shankaran Pillai? You've not heard of him?
No. Can you
He's a
pull it
very
up?
Famous guy, okay? So one day he was sitting in his backyard grumpy, and his neighbor looked at him and said, "Hey, what's the matter with you? Why are you sitting like this?" He said, "No, one of those womanly questions. She asked me and I got the answer wrong." "Well, what did she ask you?" He said, she asked, "When I get old, unattractive and fat, will you still love me?" The neighbor said, "That's easy, man. You should just say, 'Yes, I will.'" "Yeah, I know, but I said I do."
I said I do? What does that mean?
See,
Oh,
now
come
is
on,
the
Pat,
problem
you
because
missed
too
it.
many beliefs you have.
Because I do.
So Pat missed
And the
it.
wife says, "When I get old, fat and unattractive, will you still love me?"
Oh, she said I do, meaning I love you today, but I don't know if I'm going to love you in the future.
Arey!
Pat, come on, man. That's a funny joke. Come on, Pat.
You are something. When he says, "I do," what does it mean? That means he's already that way.
Okay. Meaning it doesn't matter.
So in the house there's a hurricane, so he's sitting in the backyard, waiting for the hurricane to settle. So I'm
Pat,
saying,
this stuff's going
you
over
need to
Pat's
figure
head,
your
man.
life out. You will not do everything perfectly well. You'll do some things right, some things wrong. But the important thing is, if you have love in your heart, you will…
See, the thing is that Pat's brain is so fried by the nonsense this guy said, and Pat's thinking he's making one of these like illustrations, and he's not. He's just it's a Pat, man, I feel bad for having to
try to do the best.
Yeah.
Your best, not the best, always understand this. Your best, you're doing your best. You can't do the best because nobody knows what is the best. Only people who have religious beliefs, they think they are the best.
Oh, there it is. Did you get that? Only people who have religious beliefs believe that they are the best. That's not true, by the way. But that's a way, mind you, what he teaches are religious beliefs. But this is the whole scheme, you guys. This is the entire scheme of this guy claiming that religion. I told you guys this 2 hours ago. Claiming that religion entraps you and he's gonna bring about freeing ideas and stuff. And this is all religion. This entire conversation has been religious.
Nobody knows what is the best. My best I can do today. I don't know if my best is the best.
It's a good point because sometimes you're constantly comparing yourself, right? And if you compare the best versus your best, as long as you're doing your best.
Where is the best to compare yourself to?
There's statistically in business and life and sports, you can always compare to somebody who has done better than you. Financially, subscribership, viewers, more, more people, more followers, more this, more that. We all
more money.
Numbers. You gave a bunch of numbers today. You said you have 19 million volunteers earlier. 10,000 square miles in South India that I'd want to go visit.
No. 10,000 square miles of forest, not our land.
10,000 square miles of forest.
Behind us.
Got it. And that's where the 112-foot statue's at, right? I want to see that. I'd like to come one day, come visit and see it.
bring
Is
your
the food
children,
good
they'll
over
love
there?
it.
Is food good over there?
Huh?
Is the food good over there? Because the food was
Food-
phenomenal in Mumbai.
Once you taste our food, you may not leave.
Okay. Well, then I look forward to that. But what could you tell us about these two books? Rob, can we put the link below as well for the two books?
Well, inner engineering is like a little bit of introductory for the program itself. The program is a 7-step program, which is life-transforming, which millions of people have done around the world. Well, it is not a philosophy, it is not a belief system, it's not an ideology, it's not even a teaching. They're tools, or let's say technologies for well-being.
Oh gosh.
That will increase your business, make you rich, lose weight, and your libido will 10x.
You were saying it, I refuse to say that. It'll
Jukesh, it's not even a teaching. So why read it? Why read or listen to anything this guy says?
It'll enhance you as a human being, okay? If your idea of a human being is being a lecherous fool, it's up to you. But it'll enhance you as a human being. That means all aspects of your life will enhance. Above all, you will learn to do your life better. It is not that somebody is going to enhance you. These are like tools. See, there is a screw in this furniture. If I ask you to remove it, if all your 10 nails go in your 10 fingers, still the screw is right there. You can also try your teeth, you lose a couple of them.
You would.
But if I give you a screwdriver, in 1 minute you'll remove this.
Yep.
So this is how important a tool is. We must understand this. Human beings are dominating this planet right now only because of our ability to use tools, isn't it? As there are tools in the world, technologies in the world, as there is a science and technology to create what we want around us, to create what we want within us, there's an entire science and technology. It is this science and technology that we refer to as the yogic sciences. But unfortunately, in United States of America, yoga means Lululemon pants and twisting and turning and looking like a leftover noodle. No, yoga is an entire scientific system. When Adiyogi, the first yogi whose image…
Seems like a belief system to me. Seems like a teaching to me. Seems like a philosophy to me. Seems like a religious worldview to me. You deny it at the same time as you claim it. And you don't see a problem with it. Mind-boggling.
You will come and see, when he gave the yogic system, he gave 112 methods.
Did he teach the yogic system?
Not asanas or practices, methods, entire sciences, 112 ways in which a human being can seek their ultimate well-being. 112 ways. One method may suit you, but that guy may not be willing to go that way. So for him, there's another method. For me, there's another method. 112 ways. Why 112 ways is, we recognize there are 112 junction points in the body, energetically. So we can work on each one of them in a different way and change the very chemistry of the system. Today we have a center in the… in Beth Israel Hospital, which is a teaching medical hospital for Harvard Medical School, where we have identified, proper studies have been done, 70%…
By the way, this guy is claiming to know things from proper studies and teachings, at the same time claiming that we shouldn't listen to teaching. Not even teaching math to a child, which is what he did to his daughter.
enhancement of endocannabinoids in your brain. That means you just blissed out within 6 weeks of practice. Simply if you sit here, you blissed out. Who wouldn't want it? Everybody wants it, but they're not willing to do it because they think it'll happen from somewhere else. This is one thing that humanity needs to understand. Human experience is caused from within.
This is one thing that I need to teach humanity. This is one thing that humanity needs to understand. Don't listen to anyone, guys. Teaching shouldn't exist.
Then, is it so? Is it so, 100%?
I agree. Yes.
Yes. When it's caused from within, why is it not happening the way you want it? Because you're in compulsive reaction to something else. So your numbers, your money, your grades, are you better than somebody, worse than somebody is not the point. See, when you begin with life, you want pleasantness of experience. If you're continuously pleasant, you will feel that's insufficient. Then you want profoundness of experience. These are the only two things you're seeking. Whether you seek a bottle, or drug, or God, or heaven, or temple, or meditation, this is all you're seeking. Pleasantness of experience and profoundness of experience. So this is a
Sounds like
scientific
a teaching
approach
to
to
me.
that aspect of human longing.
I love it. Rob, let's make sure we put the link below.
Sounds like a
Sadhguru,
teaching to me.
You have a great sense of humor.
You don't say those three things, okay?
No, you don't say those three things. But I said it earlier, though.
You can say it. I can't say it.
I said it earlier. I said that earlier. And our next campaign is going to be, if you come to this conference, you're going to be rich, you're going to lose 40 pounds, and your libido is going to 10x. We'll see you next Friday at the conference. We're going to see if we can sell more tickets with that. But sir, truly, I genuinely enjoy talking to you, and I've been watching your stuff for many, many years. I'm glad we finally had to sit down and talk. And what I love most about you is your energy is so smooth, and then you are sarcastic, and you have a sense of humor, and I learned a lot today. So I appreciate your
I could
time.
tell you a lot of jokes, but you didn't get my joke.
Well,
That's
that one
true.
I do. It took me a minute. It took me a minute. I had to get a little bit more clear on what I do means instead of I will. Big difference.
It's yeah, you didn't get this true. Man, Pat, give me a reward for listening to this nonsense. Sometimes I have to put myself through so much pain on behalf of other folks. Hey guys, some of you guys are still here, man. It's been 3 hours. 10 of you guys are here. Thanks for being here, by the way. Hey, I am finalizing. We are in the final stages, and hopefully by next week we'll launch this. We are in the final stages with our Logos study bundle, the Apologia Center study bundle. We've been able to include a good amount of books from my recommended book list. Not all of them for various reasons, but part of the reason is because we want to give people about 90% off. And so we're going to have 2 packages that are going to be launching, a smaller package and a bigger package. If you get the bigger one, it's going to be about 135 books. Yeah, I'm super excited about this. And then the books we weren't able to put in there, we've found equivalents to put in there. And it's got hermeneutic stuff, it's got theology stuff, it's got apologetic stuff. We've included a New Testament commentary in there as well, the entire set. And we're finalizing it. And by next week, not like this upcoming Monday, hopefully the following one. We might have it ready by this Monday. We'll see. We will be promoting the Logos Apologia Center bundle, study bundle. Cannot wait. And it's going to be about 90% off. It's actually like 89 point something percent off on every single one of the books. I've put it together, the smaller bundle, 3 of the books included in the smaller bundle will pay off. Like if you got those books separately, it'd be the same amount as the bundle. And then the bigger one, just the commentary series, is around what the actual price of the bundle will be. So super excited about this, by the way. Do you know how long the study bundle deal will be available? Oh, it'll be just available. It's not how long. We're going to make that available and people can purchase it at any moment unless we decide to add future bundles and future kind of grades to it. Right now, we're starting with sort of a smaller and larger one, or a smaller or medium one, if you want to think about it that way. Silver and gold, I don't know, maybe we'll go like diamond or platinum, but it's not for a limited time. We will launch it and promote it, and it'll be everywhere for folks to buy it. So if you're thinking about getting it, I would just recommend you go and get the 60-day free trial that we have in the description box, and check it out and see if you like it, and then buy our study bundle if you do like it. Look, man, I've been using Logos Bible software since Logos 5. Absolutely over the moon as how it's helped me do my teaching, do my study, do all of it. It's always on my computer. So, yeah, super excited for that. We got our conference coming up, guys. God Logic and Inspiring Philosophy coming to town. So if you're in this area or know anyone in this area, send them this link, apologiacenter.com/praisewithreason. We still have some tickets available. So that is going to happen next Saturday. Share it out. Go share our Instagram posts out and all that. So with all that said, guys, God bless you guys. And I'll see you guys. Today's Friday. I'll see you guys Monday. Take care. God bless.